Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, powered by NZXT, episode 841. Today is May 21st, 2024. I am your host, Jan Ochoa. Welcome to the cinnamon roll of video game podcasts. That's right. We're warm, we're gooey, we're delectable. We're a little sweet treat that you feel a little bit guilty for indulging in. But hey, we're here, baby. We're here just like the Auntie Anne's, and we're also the Auntie Anne's. We're also the Pretzels, a video game podcast. Joining me, pretzel connoisseur, Jeff Grubb.
Barry Courtney says he's still sorry that his dog was mean to your dog, Jan. I had dinner with him last night, and he still feels guilty.
His dog wasn't mean. It's fine. It's all right.
Well, he still feels guilty about it, so that's I figured I'd start the podcast with that.
We got the mad dog of video games media, Dan Reichert.
That's me. That's what people have called me for a long time.
Yes,
Hi.
yes, that is your.
Right?
He's going. He's vicious.
Right?
Exactly.
Is this my new thing? Whoa!
That's your new.
That's Minotti.
Whoa!
And there's
Look at
our
what Gross
freaky
got.
little dude. Audio listeners, it's a little clay Mike Minotti. It's freaky.
It's basically the cake that we had, but just as like a little figure someone sent. I think this is supposed to go to him. It was in our PO box for our thing that we do.
What did they do? They like 3D printed that?
It feels like it could be 3D printed, or yeah.
For those
last-
listening to the audio, it is a RoboCop head of Mike Minotti with feet sticking out, like the famous cake from
Like the
last
famous,
year.
the infamous cake, I would
famous
say.
Cake.
Yeah.
It's very
absolutely.
Goomba adjacent.
Yeah. I couldn't find it, and my kid comes and is like, I think I know what you're looking for, and then she comes back later. So I think she had put this in a hidey hole somewhere.
I love that your child knows where to find a RoboCop head of your friend.
Yes, yeah.
With feet sticking out.
And I was like, I'm just looking for a weird thing, is what I said. And I couldn't find it. I come down here, and like a couple minutes later, she's like, I think I know about a weird thing.
I found the one weird thing in the house, Dad.
Yeah, here it is.
And last but not least, our own master of cakes. He's hiding in his hidey hole, and it's littered with keyboards and baseball caps and whatever the Stanley Cup Finals will look like. Jeff Bakalar.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but thank you for that intro, my buddy Jan. Good to be here. Happy to be here. Delighted to share the microphone with all of you.
Can you imagine if we were trying to do this podcast with one microphone and we're just like...
That's how we did the Beastcast.
Just like inching close to each other and stuff. I watched Challengers this weekend. Whoa!
Is that the
Talk about
tennis
sharing a
thing?
microphone.
That's the
I don't know.
tennis.
I haven't seen Challengers. I'm just assuming that's a good
the tennis
euphemism.
sex movie, right?
Yeah,
That's the tennis sex movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What do you mean tennis sex, guys?
You know,
Thruples.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what is it really
Eat Your
about?
Mama
I
Tom
think
Begin,
it's-
but for the tennis crowd.
I think it's about tennis players that have sex with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, is
sure.
that interesting?
That's what the trailer makes it look
Well,
like.
no one said that, but I think it might be. I mean,
It's like a love triangle. Kind
no,
of.
they play
but
on a
tennis.
rectangle.
No, love triangle, not the
Oh.
tennis. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
so we're talking doubles?
You guys following this megalopolis shit?
No.
a little bit.
What, the Adam Driver movie?
I
The
can't believe they're
Francis
making
Ford
another movie
Coppola
like
movie.
that, right?
No, Adam Driver made it. What about it?
It looks Annette adjacent.
Yes. Yes.
From what
It looks like the sci-fi sequel to Annette.
No, that's
think there's
that's
a pedigree there.
The
that's
dinosaur
like,
movie he did. That's the that's
65.
65 or whatever.
Coppola
Yeah.
did a dinosaur movie? What?
No. Adam Driver did.
Oh, okay. No, that trailer. I was watching that whole thing. I was like, what the?
I've watched
fuck
it like
is
3
this
times.
about?
Yeah, people it's at Cannes right now, right? Cannes.
Yeah, they haven't even announced like a wide release yet. I don't think.
I feel like
I
I,
don't
read.
think anyone's picked it up for wide release yet.
Oh, that's,
We should.
that's a matter of time.
Let's screen it at SGF.
No, I was gonna say. I feel like people are saying good things about it.
I think people are saying things about it.
They're saying things like the one anecdote I heard is someone's like, I went to the bathroom an hour in and I found a man just kind of hunkered over in the hallway saying it's a nightmare.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, let's go, let's
Makes me
fucking go,
very
let's
intrigued.
go. Yes.
I mean, he's like 88, and they're like letting him make movies.
No,
I think
they're
that's
not
cool.
letting him do anything. He's paying it for himself.
Oh, that's
he
right.
put in
He-
$100 million of his own money.
Yes, and it was like a hell shoot, the way like Apocalypse Now and stuff was. So it's like, oh, he's back. Here we
Yeah.
go.
I'm so glad this is happening.
But
Me
like,
too.
it's in a situation now where it's like you can't afford not to see it. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you right, like
Yeah.
you have to see it. Whereas Annette, I'd be fine not having seen it.
No. You know what else is a
Stop
must
thinking about
see?
Annette.
You know what else is a must see thing happening very, very soon?
What's
Coming
that?
to perhaps the Bellevue Theater in Los Angeles,
Oh.
June 9th. Jeff Grubb, what's happening?
June 9th at the Bellwether in Los Angeles, we're going to do GB at Night live. It'll be night 3 of our show. We're inviting you all to come out and get tickets. Come see us. It's going to be everyone from Giant Bomb. I'll be hosting a handful of segments. We'll do some fun stuff. You should definitely pick up your tickets now because we've got some friends that are going to come hang out with us, and including Iffy, Alana Pierce, Jason Schreier, Patrick Klepek, a whole bunch more. Honestly, I think, Jan, I just saw you did that re-up the video showing that off. It looks great. But yeah, you should act now. Get your tickets. They're going fast. So definitely go pick those up.
Yes. More guests to be announced.
Yep.
VIP packages available.
That's right.
Fun, excitement, giveaways,
Hey, wait, why does it say
shenanigans.
tables?
Because you're gonna have to sit at some. Oh no, like it's a couch.
Tables.
Jan,
'Cause
why
no,
does it say tables?
It's typo.
No.
tables because you'll maybe there'll be a table in the back that you can rest a drink on, right?
Okay.
You're gonna get the tables. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get the tables
It's
because
it's a tables match. Yes.
All right.
our crew is gonna have to put the computer on something, and generally it's a table.
I think it's a big deal for Mike Minotti.
Yes.
Can I tell you?
I'll just let
Minotti!
I'll just
I
let
felt
that phrase hang for a second. But I think it's a big deal for Mike Minotti to be mentioned in the same breath as people like Paris Lilly, Patrick Klepek, and Alana Pierce.
Not
Iffy.
Klepek as much, but yeah.
No, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal for like someone to say
take it or leave it.
Jason Schreier and then soon after say Mike Minotti as if
The 2 games journalists. What are you
As if-
talking about?
as if they occupy the same headspace.
Hey, he's at a gaming business convention right now that his company runs, and
With our boss.
yeah, with the
Oh,
talking to
that's
Perky.
right.
Yeah.
Doesn't he
Wow.
seem like a bunch of kids in a suit trying to sneak into a business
Oh, yes.
thing? Like
Oh,
100%.
yes.
Like
Wait,
mentally,
what?
is that where he's at? Like when I go
Minotti?
into Homer's brain and you see like the monkey with the
I
symbols?
think yes. I think he like if you were to like say one Disney thing, his like the several dozen like mice that create his body would fall apart a little bit. Yeah.
I was looking at the picture he posted of just the weird selfie of him, just like his head taking up the whole frame, and he's got his business thing over a T-shirt, and I was like analyzing it. I was like, like enhancing this, and it's like, do those letters say Mickey? Is this a Mickey shirt underneath his business
I'm
thing?
pretty sure it's a. I
it
would just
might
guess
say
it's a Mickey Mouse shirt. Yes.
okay.
Because you guys, you know Mikey as well as anyone. Mikey can never go full business.
See,
He's
that's the
never
difference between
full
me and him.
business.
That's why I'm more of an adult than Minotti. When I was like officiating Mahardy's wedding, I didn't have a DDP shirt on underneath my tux. You know?
Yeah, but you also seemed very uncomfortable, so I don't think you can really talk. I think
Oh,
like
right. It was a Rocketeer shirt, which is a Disney movie.
Close enough.
Well,
It counts.
I mean, you both lose points in being adults. Everyone knows that. But
I can camouflage myself better than he can.
I don't know who's a better
Crub?
adult.
You
Who's
know
a better
both.
adult?
Dan is right about this one. Yes, because
What?
Mike doesn't care to camouflage himself, and so he's never really like
Oh, what? So
learned
you
how.
LARP? You
Yeah.
LARP,
I can
therefore you
LARP as
are.
an adult. Yeah.
I can pretend with
Better
the best
than
of
Mike.
them.
Yes.
No, I got these 2 guys. So yeah, this little freak will be there. I'll bring him too. There you
Yeah,
go.
I was filled with so much pain putting Mike as the last name on that lineup because
That's deliberate.
because it gives he could think it's deliberate, or he's like the with or the and.
Yeah,
in the
no, I
movie,
think he's gonna
you know?
take it that
Special
way.
thanks.
He's like, yeah, this and with Mike
Yeah.
Minotti.
Yeah,
so
like
the highest credit in the
introducing-
tier.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. You guys are right. Like in the titles where like, Hugh Grant is only in for like a cameo, but it says and Hugh Grant, like
Right, his
respectfully.
agent, like got him the with
Negotiated, yeah.
Let's do
I
the
want,
executive
she wants his
decision.
own title, please.
Let's do the executive decision thing where it's like they gave Seagal top billing even though he dies in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's just like top billing or the Schwarzenegger Batman and Robin. It just says
Mike
Minotti in
Minotti's
huge letters.
GB at night. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, that would be not bad. Like Mike Minotti presents.
Uh-huh.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
We could have like bootleg T-shirts made that only sell at like certain bathroom stalls.
Actually, yes. You know what? I encourage if you buy tickets to GB at night, I encourage bootleg merch
Oh, of course,
In the parking lot.
in the parking lot.
of course.
All right.
During the
Scalp-
tailgate.
Yeah, exactly. Scalp tickets. Oh, we should have a tailgate, but LA doesn't really support tailgates at all.
Is that true?
Let's book SoFi next year, and then we can do it.
Yeah, there we go.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy, easy peasy.
That's right there.
How's everyone doing? How's everyone going? I'm in like the first complete week of creatine, and my tummy hurts so bad.
But
Yeah, how
are you
you're-
filled with water?
I'm filled with so much water right now.
How do your
though.
BMs?
My bad.
Yeah.
It, combined with the coffee, bad. I understand how normal people feel now.
Yeah. You tell you what, I'm doing pretty good. It was like it was nice to like get out of the house and go have dinner with Barrett yesterday. That was nice. Got to meet him and his dad, Barrett Courtney from Kind of Funny. They're nice folks. But we just like talk about games. We both ran a little bit of a victory lap where because we both got Balatro for very cheap in our Fantasy Critic League. And he got it because he was listening to this podcast. So hi, Barrett, you're welcome. But yeah, it's like, okay, I needed to like just get out of the house and reset and realize it's not all just like, playing games constantly and then getting set up for Summer Game Fest. So I'm like feeling pretty good now. Got a little bit of that reset juice going.
When you said you caught dinner with Barrett, I didn't assume at first that he had gone over to you, Grub. I thought you would come over to here, and I
just went over there and didn't see you. Yeah,
I was like, "What the fuck, Grub? And you're back home already?"
Yeah, no, he's in town for some family stuff. So yeah, it was cool.
Lovely, lovely. I don't think Barrett's dog was rude to Scout at all. It's fine, Barrett. Don't trip, Chocolate Chip. It's all good. Everyone else is okay. How's the gas, boys?
Gas? I'm in the tapering now, so I only got like 4 days of gas left. So it's gonna be a withered husk at the end of.
I had real gas, like actual like
shoot gas.
Like gastro gas, where it's like
tummy gas,
farts.
Yeah, like I don't. This weekend was weird for me. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't tell if it was like tummy troubles or what was happening.
If anyone were to tell me I've never farted, I would believe it from Jeff Bakalar. That's it. So is this like something new?
He's just been holding him for like 50 years. Yeah.
No. I'm uptight. I'm not that uptight. I think. I've look, guys. I've farted. Okay,
he is a man.
No, like something happened, and like I was uncomfortable for like 24 hours, and then I was fine. And I'm just like, well, is this just like old man problems? Like what? Like what are we doing? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it time to check the colon?
No, not. I think 45 is.
I think they're just saying 45 now. Yeah.
Okay. Like no, like I'm not in any discomfort. It was short lived. I couldn't tell if I was just like overexerting myself skating. Who knows what happens?
Oh, sure.
It's like movement based.
Yeah. You pull the tummy muscle.
Can I ask y'all a very serious question,
please?
Now this has been bugging me for a while, and I thought I could use this platform.
Okay.
I think ice cream sandwiches should only have like the chocolate biscuit. They should not have anything else as the sandwich apparatus.
Wait.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird hill to die on, Jan.
No
not gonna
ice
lie.
cream?
Like,
No. You should, of course, have the ice cream inside. I'm just talking about the holding apparatus.
So you're saying the only form factor should be like the brown rectangle?
Yeah.
No Chipwich, no gimmicks like no it's.
You're saying like no cookies on each side, but like the biscuit is basically a cookie.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that soft, spongy one. And like, hey, I'll rep it because it's from the Bay Area.
It's good as hell.
It's very good, but it gets messy because like as you're biting down in the cookie, it's pushing the ice cream out.
that's why I eat mine with a knife and fork.
Yeah, I would microwave it for like 5 or 10 seconds, throw it in a bowl, and just take a spoon and just and then just go to town on it.
Microwaving is that's interesting. Although
No, I
guess
do that
like
with like the like little pints of ice cream, like the Halo Top gimmick things.
Oh,
you
okay.
microwave
If it's, like,
those for
hard
10
on top,
seconds,
yeah.
just
Okay.
it lets you get in there quicker. Yeah.
okay, I'm
Loosen the molecules. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I had one, it was like a 2 little waffle discs, and I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? And it's just like spilling out and everything.
Was that at a restaurant or at a place, a food truck, something like that?
No, it was just like a boxed one from a
And they came in the
store.
waffle gimmick, like from the
Yeah.
store. Okay. Yeah, the waffle thing seems like not the best form factor.
Choco
Sure.
Taco, though, that's a different situation. The Choco
Right, if it's a
Taco, I
product.
accept. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
If you-
look, I'm sorry to cut everyone off. I have a more important thing to say. I think like I got ridiculed about my ice cream decision the other day, and I need validation.
Sure.
Please.
Okay. Can't
Safe
promise
space.
anything, but
Yeah, I have a fraught relationship with ice cream, but you go ahead.
Maybe this is the source of my gas, but I had an ice cream outing on Friday night, and I chose to get chocolate chip cookie dough. And as I was
Congrats.
ordering, I told the person behind the counter I would like Reese's Pieces, but at the bottom of the cup.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I want them at the bottom of the cup because I like a
the
little
fruit
surprise.
and yogurt.
Exactly, I like a little surprise.
Yeah,
at the
because
end
you're a
of
little
my-
parfait boy.
Thank you. Exactly. And I was met with a grimace from the person behind the counter in a way that I almost canceled the order. I almost took my business elsewhere. I could not believe the ridicule. And she goes, do you not want it on top? I said, did I stutter? No. I told you what I desire, and please create
this
it
was
for me.
in a cup, correct?
In a cup. In a
Okay.
cup. In a cup.
Doctor, as much as I want to give you shit, that is a perfectly reasonable thing. You know, like people have way weirder and way more pain in the ass to prepare things. Like I worked at McDonald's, and it would just be like, oh, I would put the first third as normal Coke, and then the second third as Diet Coke, and then the top
that's
third as normal.
insane.
It's like whatever, but okay, I'm on the clock. This is my job. I'm doing it. But like, there's that weird stuff. Putting it on the bottom is not a hassle.
It's not that weird.
Especially for ice cream, because that isn't the whole idea. Like again, I don't get ice cream that often, but like every order is a custom order because everyone wants different things. So it's not like McDonald's where it's like, we make it one way. I guess we'll hold the pickles for you. That's fine. We can do that. But like ice cream, it's like, no, what do you want on your ice cream? So it's like that's the whole process.
What did we learn from chef reactions?
We learned a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, that
Dan more
really
than anyone else.
the normies.
But we did learn that we were talking about a service industry. There, right? Like this is the deal.
Yeah.
My order was not crazy. My order was not
I'll defend you
offensive.
there. I'll defend you. And plus, you have a good reason to do that. Because, like, I go to McDonald's these days, and these goddamn kids that work there now, they don't understand. Look, I worked at McDonald's. I've made thousands of McFlurries. It's the exact same spoon gimmick that was there when I worked there in the 90s. And you got to make it go all the way down and up a bunch to make sure those Oreos and all that shit is going all around. Now I eat one, and the first, like, 10% has some Oreos in it, and then it's just vanilla soft serve the rest of the cup. These kids need to get it all the way to the bottom of the gimmick.
Yes. Respect the ice cream, yeah.
Yes.
There was a huge line. Time was of the essence.
Okay,
I was made,
so
I was
there's
made to
huge
feel like a
line.
criminal.
Okay, so there, you got to keep some things in mind here because Always Be Clothing does point out if it's set up like a Subway.
No.
So like, where were the Reese's Pieces in relation to like where they were starting to make it? Was it within reaching distance?
They sat in between the conversation I was having with the.
Okay, all right. If they're within arm's
Nope,
reach,
then you're completely in the right here.
I pointed. I said, "Can I have Reese's Pieces at the bottom of the cup?"
Right.
That's what I was met with. Huffing and puffing.
I think that's why I have grown to enjoy the Cold Stones because they just treat ice cream like Benihana's.
Yeah.
They'll just mix everything.
But they got confusing sizes.
Yeah.
What?
Fair enough.
What are the sizes?
I would like to have this. Please put this in my mouth. Like it's got like all sorts of weird like. It's like I don't know what size that is.
It's like in difficulty levels. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
Daddy or whatever. Yeah.
I think I've only been to Cold Stone maybe once, and I don't recall the sizes being a point of contention. What's the?
No,
It's
it's
like
wacky.
story
It's like
mode,
sentences.
New Game Plus. Yeah.
Their sentences?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like Fallout Boy
It's like,
songs?
It's like you know how confusing Starbucks is. It's like that times 20.
Oh, Jesus.
This is my request because I'm quickly learning that if you ask the Giant Bomb audience of anything, some of them will deliver. If you manage a Cold Stones in Los Angeles, let us back there. Let us back there and let us make something, please.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember their ice cream being exceptional in any.
No. It's completely okay. It's serviceable, but I just want to see Dan Grubb and Minotti just slapping the ice cream.
Sure.
I'll get in there.
Who wouldn't want to
Mess
see
that
that?
ice cream up?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
Pizza place and spin the pizza. That always looks fun in
Oh
cartoons
yeah,
and stuff.
I've done that. Yeah, I used to work at a pizza place for a little bit. That's a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
It stinks because when I was young, I had like sensitive teeth and I didn't like cold, so I didn't like ice cream all that much. And now that I'm like that phase has mostly ended for me, where I'm like, nah, cold stuff's fine. And now it's like the dairy is a problem, and so it's like if I eat ice cream, now it's a problem on the other side.
Yeah.
And so like my whole life, I've kind of just been dodging ice cream mostly, and I'm like kind of disappointed now. Where I'm like, man, that seems like a nice
People
treat.
on the street throwing handfuls of ice cream like
Said,
snowballs.
no way, I do the Matrix thing. Yeah. I just wish there was a time in my life where I could have appreciated it. I just don't think it's in the cards for me. So.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it's
No,
fraught.
the thing is, you travel. We're going to be on a work trip with two of the most lactose intolerant people I know,
That's true.
and they're constantly carrying Lactaid. So just hit them up.
Yeah, okay.
Lucy and Tam, they got the plug.
Okay.
Have it after we have a really spicy, shitty burrito at 2 a.m. outside of our hotel.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
deal.
Can you imagine if that place also sold ice cream?
Oh,
Damn, what the hell would that be?
I don't know.
Jesus.
There's some soup. It used to
I'm
be
not
ice
ready to
cream.
play that game, but I've
Milk
been
in a
playing
bowl.
these games. Let's start on what I'm going to assume is going to be a lighter discussion. Little Kitty Big City, Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, you were right, Jan. I mentioned this elsewhere, but very rarely when someone says, I think the kids would like this, I always like welcome that because it's like, I'll give it a shot, but rarely do I actually believe that that's actually going to work out. You were 100% right. The kids have gone wild for this game. They are playing it nonstop. Emmy's not someone who would spend a ton of time with a game that isn't Mario right now because she's back on way back in the Mario bandwagon. And even then, she's like, oh, I'll just kind of like poke around. This is a game that's perfect for that. It's like just if you want to just mess around and poke at the world and go in the store and knock stuff down, you could do that. And as she's been doing that, she's slowly been acquiring the skill to actually play like this cute little open world game.
Yeah.
Where like I'll go over, it's like, oh, you got a new hat. And you found one of the like the ducks that you have to take back to the mama duck or whatever. And it's like I just wasn't expecting her to have the patience for it, and it just completely fits with the way I think a little kid wants to play games, where it's mostly a sandbox, mostly a playground, very low stakes, no real enemies, a couple things get in your way, but that's fine. It's not like the end of the world. There's still plenty of other things to do. And in the meantime, she is like figuring out how to play it. And it's been really cool to see. And so I've been occasionally helping them, and I'm enjoying it too. It seems like a really cute game. I think it's Untitled Goose Game is definitely the primary like point of comparison.
Right.
And it feels a little bit less refined than Untitled Goose Game, but it's also more open and even more playful than that game in a lot of ways, where it's like you can just kind of explore it on your own terms. And so I kind of appreciate that.
Is there anything like, I know Stray tonally was so different, and it was, saying something, and it was like a dark, dystopian thing. But just in terms of locomotion, is it anything like that?
In terms of like the way that game, no, it's
cat
this
moves.
Yeah, this is like the way you would imagine an animal moving around a city, the way you would want them to move. That's how they move in this game. It's like the jump is like you hold down B and you like place your paws before you jump, and then you let go and it does that jump. And that's like not exactly quite as active as I would imagine, but that's very handy because it enables you to make all these jumps from like, oh, you're on an air conditioner on the side of a building and you want to jump to the next air conditioner. You can actually place the jump, pixel perfect. So I really actually end up liking that. And just the way the cat moves around, you can hold down the right bumper button to give them the zoomies, which is the sprint button. It's like cute stuff like that, and it all feels really nice. It's, again, not quite as refined as some of the games in the genre, but all the ways it's like maybe a little bit janky are never a problem. And sometimes they're just kind of like, oh, that's silly that's happening.
I feel like we are in dire need of more exploration animal games that aren't taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah, so this is like a popular genre for like the asset flip games on mobile or something like that. You'll get like, basically the GTA of cat games, and it's just the shittiest city you've ever seen, and this like terribly animated cat moving around and like placeholder characters to go mess with or something like that. And it's like if Goat Simulator was actually like fully bad is what those games are. So to have one of these that actually has someone with an idea of how these games should work come along and make this has been really nice.
Those GTA cat games, instead of sandbox games, would you say they're litter box games?
Yeah, sure. That's okay. Yeah, I see what we've done here.
But like I honest, thank you. 12 podcast points for everyone listening right now. I have been thinking about going and playing Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah!
Sure.
Yeah! Let's go. I got a copy right here.
You popped them. You popped them.
Are you okay,
I
Dave?
didn't know.
Shit! I didn't expect Mr. Mosquito. Let's go. Oh, man. What do you want to
Jen,
know?
you have to now.
I feel like that would be your Marvel name, Dan.
That could be a delight club for Jan.
You look like Mr.
Mosquito is
Mosquito.
delightful. It's fucking awesome. What do you want? Have you played it?
I've only ever seen screenshots and like
fully popped,
videos.
brother.
Oh, analog. There's a risk reward. Like, man, I want to fill up this blood tube, but they're about to swap me. Man, it's just a thrill a minute. It's great.
Well,
you can press the remote control and fuck with the family. It's great.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is that I miss weird animal games.
Yeah.
And I know that Untitled Goose Game wasn't the first to do that in a long time, and Grub, there's probably a bunch of mobile games and indie games, but like, what about we just explore being animals, huh? What if I just want to be a bear climbing a tree, eating some honey?
I've never played Tokyo Jungles. Yeah, now people in chat are saying that. Okay, I'll do that.
Tokyo Jungle's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Mr. Jansquito. Okay,
that doesn't even
Jansquito.
Mr. Mosquito Choa. That's closer. There we go. Yes. It still doesn't work. I did not expect to get a big pop from Mr. Mosquito, and that is brightened my day.
Anytime. That'll
I've
make
never
my day
played
better.
it either, so I would like to. I want to see this.
I've been thinking about like digging into the PS2 void of just miscellaneous games.
Oh, yeah. Adventures of Cookies and Cream co-op.
Do you ever play Katamari Damacy?
Oh, of course. Oh, of
okay,
course.
Good.
Yeah. Very formative game.
Okay, good.
PS2 is a good system if you just want to do some weird hidden gem stuff. Raw Danger.
Flipnik. Yeah, get in there. Please.
Raw Danger.
Pointy
What?
Point. Raw Danger.
I remember Pointy
up.
Point.
You do?
Yeah.
Let me see what they even call Raw Danger on the Wikipedia. It's an action adventure survival game. Okay, yeah. It's a sequel to Disaster Report. You know Disaster Report, right?
Yes.
Right.
It's like you're a waiter and you're working like a thing, and then it starts flooding, and then it's like, whoa, what are you gonna do about this?
Oh, okay.
Raw Danger.
Yeah, maybe we should just like perhaps devise a wheel and a virtual wheel with a bunch of PS2 titles and just spin it.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
A virtual wheel, a shoot wheel, perhaps.
Did you build this conversation in a lab to get Dan excited about stuff?
I've never been more awake than I am right now.
Mr.
This is great.
Mosquito.
Look at this guy.
Wheels. I don't know.
Weird PS2 games. Yeah.
He doesn't need roids. He just needs Jan to tell him ideas.
There we go. That's why in another life, Dan would be like a prize fighter boxer, and then I would be his like hype man. I would be one of his corner men.
I'm smelling salts, and it's just a copy of Mr. Mosquito.
I'd be his Stitch.
You're doing the fight night mini game between rounds.
Exactly. I'm tapping the back of his head to tell him how many fingers the ref is holding up.
Hit the one in the middle. Yeah.
Exactly. Jeff Grubb, you've also been playing another game called Cryptmaster.
Yeah, I just started this, and this is the one that we keep saying, it's like Typing of the Dead, and it's not quite. It is a game you play with your keyboard by typing in words. It's okay. Yes, you play with your keyboard.
Everyone's getting activated today.
Hold on, now here comes my pop. It's not as animated as Mr. Mosquito over here, but certainly animated.
Almost audible.
Certainly
Look at the veins in Bacalar's head, though.
Yeah.
Vascular.
His hat pops up a centimeter.
It just rises up on the steam.
It kind of starts spinning around slowly.
Tell me more about your keyboard game.
So it's a dungeon crawler. I'll do the anecdote that I thought was interesting. So you go up to things like chests, and you need to figure out what's in them. And there's a narration character who's like a necromancer who goes along with you, and he doesn't remember shit, but he can like describe what he's looking at, and you got to type it in. And so it's like actively typing in words to do stuff in the world, and that means like so when I need to attack something, I'm typing in hit. But I got to this one statue that is like a save statue and can replenish your life, but she only works with the living, and all my characters are dead. They're in the land of the dead. And so the guy that I'm with is like, well, what if we desecrate this thing? That would work. I'm like, okay. So he's like, all right, do something to desecrate. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is like pee or piss, but I'm like, I don't want to be. I'm like,
type piss.
Well, okay, I bet it would work, but instead I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with something a little bit sillier, even more silly than that. And I'm going to type in fart and see if that works. So I typed in fart, and the game just lets out the most enormous fart sound and was like, that's perfect. This thing just fell apart. You did it. You've totally desecrated this thing. You should do that. We should desecrate more things that way. I'm like, oh, okay. So the game is like predicting the way the player is going to react to the things it sets up and accounts for that. And it's super cool.
So
it's super
scribble
interesting.
knots.
A little scribble Nazi, yes, definitely.
Oh, okay. Maybe don't say it that way. Rephrase that.
Don't. Oh, yeah. Sure.
That's a different game, Grub. That's a different game.
Sure.
Sure. Oh, you different game. Yeah, we're different suits and uniforms. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It's scribble knot adjacent.
Yes, there we go. We got it, folks. We landed the plane.
Woo! There we go. I don't know. It's really cool. It's got a cool style. I'm into it. I'm gonna keep playing it, but I just kind of feel like I'm scratching the surface of this one.
That's cool. Well, games should have like a type test, like words per minute that decides your hit
difficulty
points or something like that, right? Like,
okay.
That'd be cool. You know?
Yeah, nothing amps me up than taking like an aptitude test before starting a game.
Well, it's not. It's all in good fun. I mean, you go to monkeytype.com and you have yourself a little contest with yourself, and you know.
Was it Halo that did the thing of like, they told you to look up and then depending on how you move the stick? I always like that.
Yeah. And birding, it's like, that's very smart.
Yeah, good fun.
I think Infamous did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a handful of games that tried that.
Moving from the dead to the dread, Dan Reichert, Dread Delusion?
Yeah, this is one that didn't normally seem like it would be up my alley, but Bonk's been playing it a lot. She's a big, longtime Morrowind fan, and it's very, very much based on that. And like, I didn't hop onto Elder Scrolls until Oblivion, Skyrim, all that stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting to try out because she was really high on it. And man, it's got a hell of a look, like the audio design's incredible. I was really into what I played early on, but unfortunately, I did run into a bunch of bugs and stuff, both on my PC and on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, Steam Deck is where I had the problems. This is why I haven't been playing this game.
What was your problem?
So it is. I tried to make the look stick feel good, and it doesn't. It doesn't ever feel good. So what happens is if you're moving the character. And then you try to like look right, left, up, down. It'll be very sluggish. And I turned up the sensitivity a ton, and that would like. Yeah, if I'm standing still, it makes it more sensitive, and that did make it feel better. But then when I'm moving again, it's that sluggishness comes back in, and it made me feel crazy. And I posted this on Twitter. A developer said this is a CPU issue, specifically that it would definitely affect the Steam Deck, and they're going to try to have a fix for it. So I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to put this to the side, and I'll come back once that works.
Yeah, mine was totally different, and it was like, to select items and weapons and things like that, you're supposed to use the D-pad, and I got all these items and potions and throwing knives and stuff like that, and D-pad wouldn't select them, so like the only way I could throw a throwing knife was like to go to the menu and select it, and then it would just throw it from the menu.
Okay.
And it's like, and I showed Bonk, she's like, yeah, that's not right. So I'm just gonna wait. It's something I want to go back to, and Bonk has had a pretty smooth experience with it and is loving it. So like I know there's something good there, but I'm
and
just
it's got a ton of style, like that first character you come up against where he's like in that pain prison and he like loves it. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this.
The
My
Iron
God, you should
bleeding.
be as lucky, and it's just leaking like a JPEG of blood. And it's like, that's cool. That's
it's got a really cool
idea.
vibe to it. Like red skies, mushrooms everywhere. And it's just look up like a screenshot of it. It's got a great vibe to it. But yeah, I'm gonna hold off until some things get ironed out. And when I Googled like bugs, Dread Delusion, there are a lot, and there are a lot of different ones. So I think there's some issues. And it's been in early access for a long time. So like hoping they get this stuff fixed.
Yep, I really want to play it, but I'm in the same boat. I'm not gonna play it until I know at least the things that are plaguing me are working.
Yep.
Speaking about vibes, guys, I've gone all the way into the vibes of this game. I started playing in black and white because I'm a pervert like that. Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima has hit the PC. Was it UPF or Thursday? It was UPF, right? We did the co-op.
We did this for UPF.
Yes, that was fun.
We did Legends mode in Ghost of Tsushima, and that was very, very fun. I don't think I gave Ghost of Tsushima an honest chance when it came out. For whatever reason, I think maybe it was just busy at the time that it came out in a very busy year where there was like another Final Fantasy game, and other titles that I just missed it. And boy, howdy, do I regret that, because this game is pretty as heck.
Oh yeah, it looks real nice.
It runs awesome on PC.
Yes,
runs so well.
Runs great on the Steam Deck.
Works very well on the Steam Deck as well. Yeah.
So I'm playing it.
Ooh.
I set to 45 frames per second, so it doubles up to the 90. Looks great.
And I did the thing where I put it in Japanese, so in English subtitles. So
Same.
I'm semi-forced to pay attention to what's happening in the story. And I'm really enjoying my time. The combat is different than what I was expecting it to be, because I was kind of expecting either more of a Dark Souls approach or more hacky slashy type of dealio. But this one, your samurai strikes a balance of feeling a little floaty, but also like heavy. And I kind of enjoy that you don't quite have to worry about like a stamina meter super hard like you would in Sekiro. But I do miss the fluidity of a game like Sekiro. But here I feel like I'm nailing the parries and like the dodges
it's like
a lot.
Arkham-ish combat, right? Is that
similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember Infamous's combat that well, but like
that was a lot more kind of projectile. Like you're not up. Like there is some melee stuff, but you can kind of hang back and shoot shit.
Okay. But yeah, it does feel very Arkham adjacent. And then I'm just having as opposed to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where I avoided all of the side stuff, just try and mainline the story. I'm doing nothing but the side stuff in Ghost of Tsushima, just because I enjoy being in that world, and I feel like they're doing a really good job at like riding the line between heavy cinematic approach to a lot of the presentation and having it also be a fun game to play. It is making me very excited for the new Assassin's Creed game and hoping that they can nail that, because
same.
You can approach some portions of this game stealthily, but it isn't as fun to get through it as it is to just like speed through a village and just like hot parry a bunch of dudes and then just make your way through. I do want to play more of that Legends mode, though.
I do too.
Yeah, me too.
Between the Elden Ring co-op stuff and Ghost last week, it was like, oh man, there's some good 4-player stuff we were doing, and I want to do more of both.
Yeah.
I've been
bro.
playing it as well. I was just going to ask you, like, so that when you get into a mission, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of like this, but it also does the thing where it's like, we're gonna have the title card play before this mission, and then I'm like, okay, cool. And is it going to be like super in depth? It's like, nah, it's going to be kind of what you've been doing. You're going to go fight some guys, pick something up, and then we're going to send you to the next thing on this quest line. And I'm not really complaining, but it's like, I do feel like sometimes it like really takes the presentation very seriously, and I wonder if that's going to get grating on me after a certain period of time. But so far, I'm like, I keep picking it up, and every time I get like the Steam Deck out and I turn it on, it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. I'm maintaining a lot of that momentum in a way that I didn't when I was playing it on the PS4 originally, and I'm really enjoying it. Do you any concern that like the variety of what you're doing in the world will be lacking after?
Now
a certain
that you
amount of
mention
time?
it, that part, I enjoy it, but it also does kind of break up the pace in a negative way, where it does take me out of it. And then I can imagine if, say, you were trying to 100% this game and you were just constantly being pulled out to the title cards and like, hey, this is what you got to do. At least it's done very well. It's not like half-assed in any way.
No.
I can see that getting very annoying after a while. That being said, for as much as I'm enjoying the game, just because of the scope and how big it is, I don't think I'm going to get close to finishing it at all. I'm just enjoying the time that I'm in it now, and perhaps if we check out more of the Legends mode. I think that we had figured out how to ping things on consoles a long time ago.
Yeah.
My one gripe with the Legends mode, besides it being a tad difficult and a little bit grindy to begin with, if you're trying to jump in with 4 folks, is the pinging system is just odd. Having to hold down a trigger and then analog stick.
Yes,
and even like the emoting and stuff, I had to ask every time. It's like, oh, hold L2 and then do this. It just seemed clunky.
Yeah,
very minor gripes, but like I do enjoy the combat after getting adjusted to it, and I just hate archers. It turns out.
Yeah, the archers, they're annoying in the single player game too. Yeah. I always run for them first and take them out. And the first thing I upgraded for my character was the standoffs. So now if I do a standoff, I can kill the first guy and then 2 follow-ups as well. So every battle I'm starting off, I'm taking out 3 people immediately, and that's cool. But then the next thing I'm looking at now is, okay, I need to be able to block arrows from a distance. That's what I need right now. And we got that upgrade in Legends, and that was great. I'm like, okay, well, this is a separate character, so I'll do that here. How do you feel about like the way the game is presenting the stealth stuff? It's like, this is something your character finds dishonorable and distasteful and has to do it. And I'm like, that makes me kind of not want to do it, even though I love stealth stuff. And why do I care? But it's like, I don't know, the way they're framing it makes me a little bit less willing to engage with it.
It almost feels like a design cop-out of like, hey, we know that this isn't as fleshed out, so we're just going to tell you it's bad to do it, so don't do it.
And I've done some of the stuff. You're right, there's not like too much to it, at least at the beginning. I don't know, maybe they build on it.
It feels odd that they're framing it like that, and like, are you encouraging me to do stealth or not? But it does just whet my appetite for like the possibilities of more stealth-focused Assassin's Creed in the future.
Yeah, totally.
Was Tenchu ever good?
I liked I think the first Tenchu.
The things you could do, like it sounded fun in like a magazine. It was like, oh, you're sneaking across rooftops and jumping off and doing assassinations.
You don't like stealth games.
Oh yeah.
No, Dan. Okay.
Yes, sorry, Dan. Yes.
I sucked at Tenchu. Believe it or not.
I like Tenchu a lot. We can put that on a PlayStation wall or a PlayStation wheel. Excuse me.
Throwing rice off a roof and hoping a guy sees it and waiting for 20 minutes. Yeah, it's great.
Man, but that's just like throwing sand at someone.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun. Fuji dust. Fuji dust.
Yeah, Fuji dust. That's the good time right there.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for a stealth game, but I don't want Tom Clancy. I don't want what's his face.
Have you played Metal Gear Solid?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, God, what's the Mount Rushmore stealth games?
It's Metal Gear. It's Splinter Cell. It's Sly Cooper.
Is it Hitman?
And Hitman.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll just boot up Hitman because I wanted like goofy hijinks.
Honestly,
your game.
Go back to Hitman. That's always the answer.
I think the thing missing in Hitman for me is just like the ease of mobility. Like I just want to be able to climb shit and just like perch and hide.
Yep.
Sure. Remember the Saboteur?
Is that the one with the nipple DLC?
I don't remember that.
All right, I'll look it up because now I'm going to sound like a crazy person on a podcast. I can't afford that.
I've been thinking of the Saboteur lately and being like, I feel like people didn't really talk about it when it came out, but it seems kind of interesting. Who made it? It was a studio that shut down. Was it the Mercenary Studio? They had like a gas mask as a logo. What the fuck was the name of it?
No.
Was it Pandemic?
Pandemic
it's from
Studios.
Pandemic,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
The Saboteur offers free DLC of boobs on day one. On the first day the Saboteur is available, Electronic Arts will offer downloadable content which removes the nipple-covering pasties from the performers at the nightclub in the game.
Wow.
So you know what this was? Well, it's a code that comes on a piece of paper in the physical copy of the game. So when you use it, you get the nipples. So if you sell this game used, the person buying the used copy would not get it, and if they want to see the nipples, they would have to pay an extra $10. I think.
Oh, so it's a nipple pass.
It's
so
a
it's like
nipple
during
pass.
the online pass days.
This was the dark days of online passes and stuff like that.
What happened to games, man? You used to see boobs on the internet.
We used to have culture.
Industry. Yeah.
What happened? We used to have Rumble Roses, Chain Pop, Lolly, Saw, whatever the fuck that name was
Nipple
called.
DLC pass is one of the greatest accomplishments in video game
Lollipop
history.
Chainsaw is
There
what you
we
had.
go.
James
Yeah.
Gunn's
Wow.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Grub, you mentioned a second ago about you changed it to like the frames per second on the limit on Steam Deck. That's something I've been thinking about lately because I wasn't really aware of how useful that was because the Steam Deck with battery and stuff like that. And a lot of times I'm playing Animal Well or an indie game. Or like right now, the main thing I'm playing on there is Wind Waker HD. So it's like so I'm
Careful with
kind of,
emulation. Emulation. If you, sometimes with some emulators, if you turn down the frame rate, it will mess up the music or mess up the game a little bit. But any modern game should be just fine with it for the most part.
Okay, so like, what is the process? You basically just like load a game up and then you just bring the sliders down and you're like, yeah, that's running fine, or it's not.
So I would you just hit that button that brings up that side menu. You go over to like it gets like the battery icon or performance icon.
It's like TDP, it's frame rate. It's
the first thing you would want to do is turn down the frame rate limit. That's the one that's going to be the safest for you to mess around with. And if you do that, if you set that to 30, it will just render 30 frames per second, and then it'll triple it to 90. So it'll still look pretty good on the Steam Deck. 45 is what I go for most of the time though, because it looks fantastic.
So and there's a tripler like toggle, so like I can
go
30.
It'll just do it for you automatically.
Oh,
What you're going to look for is on the limiter, it'll say 30 frames per second, and then in parentheses, it's going to say, and here's how fast the screen is refreshing, and it's refreshing at 90 hertz basically, and that's what you want. You want to do 30 or 45. If you need to mess around with it beyond that, feel free, you can. But those are the ones that will divide evenly into 90. Then if you really are worried about battery, you can then go into TDP and like set the maximum total draw power to be like, 15 watts is good enough for this game, and it will never use more than 15 watts and will be good. But that's a process where you're going to like want to go online and Google and see what people say. Hey,
because I don't even know, like, I don't have a sense of like what 6 watts is versus 15, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing like honestly Animal Well, I didn't do this. I probably should have set it to like 6 watts. It probably would have been just fine. But you want to like have the lowest number possible if you're trying to save battery life. But this is like if you're really trying to squeeze out an extra 10% of battery life because you're on some trip. It's not worth thinking about too much because a lot of this can cause battery anxiety, and that's not worth it.
Okay, good to know. Also, Wind Waker HD is fucking awesome on there. It runs great. I own it.
I can't wait for you to beat it because then that's when Nintendo will announce it. So for the Switch.
I've been thinking about that because that's what I went with fucking Metroid. I played it on Dolphin, and then it's like, oh great, then they put out remastered. So yeah. But it's awesome on there. Wind Waker turns out still extremely good.
Yep. I'm gonna play it on the Steam Deck, I think.
Turns out the other thing that is still extremely good is Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
I beat Melania.
Oh, how was that?
Barely got hit. It was great.
Did
I
you
don't know if
summon any
really?
friends?
Um,
They're not friend.
yeah, I don't know him, but somebody else was there. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, but yeah, I streamed Millennia, did the fight. First time doing the Halleck tree. I'd never been there before because I was too annoyed by the like invisible assholes in that area where you have to like light the lanterns in the frozen
sure.
village or whatever. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna actually do this because I'm in an Elden Ring mood lately.
Yeah.
And yeah, that game is fucking awesome still.
It rules. I was watching you play, and I was like, I should stop playing Ghost of Tsushima and go play this instead. I was like very close to doing that.
That's why I think I'm not going to finish Ghost of Tsushima. Also, is because of Elden Ring, and my TikTok algorithm has just gotten influenced by Elden Ring lore, and I realized I don't remember squat from that game story wise. And then I fell into a deep lore hole. If anyone has like specific videos,
Are we doing that multiplayer thing again this Friday? I can't remember what we decided.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, that rules. Okay, what a thing to look forward
same
to.
Group,
We're gonna take out
save
Gilbert
or whatever.
Godfrey.
Yeah.
All right, hell yeah. I'm excited. Like that is like where I'm at with that game. I am looking forward to it in every way. Let's
Yeah.
go play more multiplayer. Give me more Shadow of the Erd Tree, and if it's just picking it up, playing it on the Steam Deck, the base vanilla game at this point, I am happy. Like that game rules so hard.
There were just parts where I'd like get to a new area that I hadn't seen before, and like I beat this game twice. I played like 200 fucking hours of this game, and I'm walking into places now. It's been out for a couple years. I'm looking around. I'm like, how does this look so fucking good? How is this game this good in every way? And there's so many
artist in the
different
world.
builds you can do. There's so many giant optional areas and bosses, and everything just fucking works and is great. And it is the bar is so fucking high after that game.
Yeah, I as I was looking up guides to build a better version of my original character, I was caught in choice paralysis because it's like, ooh, this looks cool. I could have like a 12-foot katana, and then you look over and it's like, this one shoots blood, and this one has the power of the moon. As I was scrolling through videos, I came across a random lore one, and I had never seen this village that this person talked about. So I just found where it was on the map, and then I explored it. So you're right, Dan. I have no idea how this game got made.
I mean, it really does come down to the best artist in the world worked on it. They really are that talented.
Yeah. And I'm very, very excited and terrified for Shadow of the Erd Tree. I was kind of dreading it because it was like, I don't need to go back to Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Turns out
that's all I want to do.
Turns out we all need to go. We shouldn't have left.
Oh, Barrett asked me my most anticipated game. This is it. I didn't say this. I should have said Shadow of the Erd Tree. That's my most anticipated.
Wow.
Yep.
That's high praise.
I mean, that's where I'm at with that.
It's eligible for Game of the Year?
Yes.
Sure.
Who cares? There's no rules.
Yeah, if there's no rules really, we could decide. But yes, that would be eligible. I would.
What if they had a kart racing mode to it?
Okay, then it's definitely eligible.
And then
Of
it's
course.
overqualified.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's also Armored Core 6. I want to go back to that and play that again. That game
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah. It turns out FromSoft, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I've been seeing that pop up more and more on my feed. I think it must have gone on sale on Steam or something, and I think more people are playing it because it's popping up more frequently. I'm just like, God, what a good game.
Speaking about good games, guys, the last game I have here on the rundown, I can't say that. This is how I feel about the game. But last game we're talking about today, before we go to break, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I don't like this game.
I don't like this game.
You've been playing it, Jen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Because I was like, we can't just have Dan talk about it. Because Dan was never going to like this.
No.
Yeah.
It is the most anti-me game possible. And I see that some people are liking it, and that's great. But like immediately when it starts, and the first thing is my character is hurt, and I'm holding up on the analog stick, and that kind of goes for like 30 minutes. Like, you know, all the things I hated about Red Dead Redemption 2, how it's like, you know, everything is methodical and laborious, and the story seems to take precedence over everything. This makes Red Dead 2 look like Mario Odyssey.
Shit. I need to play this. I haven't. I didn't get the code to unlock it. But I gotta play this.
I'm not a story guy. I don't care about story or
but the thing is, I
pathos or
am
whatever, but you
like,
are? Okay, so yeah, Jen, tell me how you're feeling about it, Jen.
Okay. I think everything that I'm not enjoying about the game is purely about gameplay. I think, but also, you ever you ever have like a critical blockbuster movie that people tell you like, oh, you got to see this. This is canon. This is like,
Sure, of
it's gonna
course,
blow
yeah.
your mind. It's gonna change your mind. I kind of felt that with Senua's Saga, Hellblade 1. I didn't check out Hellblade 1, but I was seeing a lot of hype with Hellblade 2, and then I'm playing it, and then the whole time I feel like I'm politely nodding my head and like gritting my teeth of like, yeah, this is cool.
Did you do the story recap at the beginning when it's
I fell asleep, Dan.
Okay, yes, because
fell asleep?
I disliked the first game also, and
Yes.
I was like, I didn't play the whole thing. All right, if I'm going to give this one a shot, let's see the story recap. And I hit that, and I swear to God, it felt like 15 minutes of looking at like literal rocks. It's like slow pans of rocks, right? I'm not making this up.
No.
You
Yeah,
fell asleep?
it was just nature B-roll.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's crazy.
No, it's like a rock with like an etching of like a lady with a sword on it, and some guy's like, yeah, and then she was mad at her dad, and it's like, okay, great.
It's wild how all over the map
I know.
the response is to this game.
I was shocked.
I think that's good, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
interesting. It is, but like I was shocked today when I saw the Metacritic because like I've talked to numerous people that I knew were playing it pre-release, and 100% of the people I talked to were like, I cannot imagine playing any more of this game. This is laborious as hell.
You guys have been having those conversations. I was here, and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be another one of those weeks. And then, I guess I've heard since then a couple people are like, no, I'm into what this is doing. I'm like, okay, so maybe it will be more mixed. I wasn't expecting it to be able to even get into the 80s on Metacritic though, which is where it's at, right? So
It is. It's like 81. Yeah.
yeah. So okay. I think a big part of that is it does look as technologically impressive as they promised, right?
Sure.
That's at least something.
Yes. I mean, there's like frame rate stuff, and it definitely does the like Order 1886 like letterboxing thing and everything. It is like, but I mean, yes, the facial capture and all that stuff. The fidelity is incredible for sure in it.
But what you do, like even beyond like the slow start game where it's forcing you to have like the I guess, are you like limping for a long time? Is that what you were saying?
Limping for Dan is not exaggerating.
I mean, remember in Wolfenstein 2 where he was in a wheelchair and it's like, oh man, I wonder how they're gonna play this, and then they're like, just give you a gun and it's an awesome shooter in a wheelchair. More games should be like that.
Or Doom 2016 was like, let's go, gun,
yeah,
go,
exactly,
kill 'em.
right. Yeah, he wakes up and immediately he's just like, I'm gonna start ripping stuff apart.
No, this is a lot of limping forward in the rain and grunting and hearing the voices in her head, and then there's a rock, and then it's just like, oh, and I thought like, oh, did I trigger a cutscene? And I just put the controller down because I just wanted to be doing anything else. And then she stopped moving. And I was like, oh no, it wants me to play right now.
And hold the forward button.
So that's definitely a turnoff hearing about that. Like I thought we were not maybe beyond that, but certainly looking at it maybe in the rear view.
I don't think we're
going
gonna get rid of like press forward to play the video that's on your screen.
Go ahead.
And it feels very like, I don't know, it feels very like the things that, Sony rightfully gets criticized for doing a lot of that stuff. Like I feel like a lot of Uncharted and Last of Us. And I didn't
God
like
of
Ragnarok.
War.
Like, Ragnarok I didn't like, like this is just like, all of those are Mario Odyssey compared to this.
Yeah, but the flip side for me is like all of those games you listed off, Dan, like all of those were also fun to play in some regard.
Right. So the gameplay, I've heard the combat's disappointing at the very least, and the puzzles are also kind of like they just fizzle out. Like, what's the deal? What's the problem with these things?
The combat, it feels like you're just having duels one after another of like one-on-one fights with enemies, and they're
Rise.
No, because then like it feels like there's more stakes there, and it feels like all those battles mean more here or there versus how it is in Hellblade 2, because it's like, all right, I guess I'm fighting this nameless dude now. Just got to parry him a couple of times and then fight until the cinematic ending of this where your person stabs him in the throat. And it just doesn't feel good. It just feels very simple is the other aspect of it, is because, okay, cool, I could parry this or block this or dodge this. And sure, you can get staggered if you dodge, or you can get hit when you dodge instead of blocking, but it just doesn't feel fun to go through these combat encounters. And with the puzzles, I think people's main complaint is that they're just, some of them at least are just like the perspective locking style of like, here's this glyph, walk around the environment until you match the environment to match this glyph. And then it's very generous with it, where it does it super duper fast of like, oh, I think this is it. Oh, okay. No, the game said it's it.
I think that's what I was surprised by, because like that's part of what I hated about the first one was that like I felt like I was just slowly going to a thing, and then it was telling me to like look at things until I unlocked the next path to go to. And it's like, surely they're going to add like another element to this. And it's not just going to be like slow combat, then I look at a thing and then I move forward. And it's like, no, this is just that again, you know?
Yeah.
And that sounds even more antiquated than it would have when Hellblade 1 came out. Like that sounds pretty old-fashioned as a solution for your very story-driven, narrative, interactive movie game that you're making. The other people have found other ways to do that maybe are more interesting than this, and so yeah, that's disappointing.
But like the game visually looks very stunning, and you know I get bored with the combat aspect of it, but some of the combat is presented very well. It has like amazing lighting. It just does not feel amazing to play. And like, hey, I do recommend if you do want to play Hellblade 2, despite all the things that we've said, I do recommend playing it with headphones because they do the binaural audio.
Binaural. I think that
it goes all around your head.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you know, with Senua, she'll have like voices in one ear and then the other ear, and then sometimes it's like mixed in the middle, and then you do a whole mix with other voices. Like that aspect, incredibly well done.
Yeah, when I was looking at the reviews this morning, it was kind of a moment of like, okay, yeah, people come to video games for different things, and that's not necessarily like, I'm glad people are liking it, but it's like, you know, for me, it has none of the things that I come to video games for, but apparently it's resonating with some people, which, hey, good for them, but yeah.
But even as like a Grub, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, Jen, like, someone in chat, like, hey, 1000X Resist and stuff like that. Harold Hellbat, but recently we've gotten a handful of games that are less interested in like just hitting you over the head with constant gameplay and are trying to tell a story. Like, I think 13 Sentinels is a game where they're very story heavy. The difference between those games and this for you is that when you are playing a game, you're bored here, or is it like, oh, and also no, the storytelling just works better for whatever reason?
I think the method of storytelling just works a little bit better for me in those other games you mentioned, and like I'm someone that also enjoys like visual novel games, right? I enjoyed Slay the Princess from last year, but here it just feels so heavy-handed in a way that it's off-putting to me and my taste specifically, and there's portions of it that remind me of the more recent Tomb Raider game where it just feels like gore porn after a while of like how much stuff can we throw this person through. And I understand like part of that is like her journey, like overcoming all of that, but after a while it's just like, guys, like I need a breath in between all of this. And I feel like there are other games out there that do handle like heavy story elements, heavy subject matter in a more approachable way that is more palatable for me, at least. This is just like, okay, all right, we get it. The faces look really good. And like as someone that does come to games for a lot of story, I think for me personally, I think I wind up enjoying games that have a strong supporting cast to bounce off of for the main character. In here, there isn't a lot of that, despite like there being multiple voices in Senua's head and her contending with characters from the previous game. Maybe I'd have a different context if I played the original game and saw like that build for her. Perhaps, I don't know. There was a game I was thinking of that just kind of nailed the story beats for me immediately. Oh, this Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 feels like anti-Asura's Wrath.
Oh, sure. Sure. Yeah, okay.
Where like that is just bombastic, like not dumb story, but like overblown story, anime. And
then when you do something, it's going to have a massive effect on what's happening on screen, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like the little bits that I'm playing in Hellblade 2 don't really factor into everything as a whole.
Again, totally, having played the first one and come up to now, looking at this from the outside, I think what I'm extracting is like, you kind of have to like know what you're getting into and be ready for that kind of thing, right? Sure. Like you don't go to a steakhouse and then be like, I'll have a light chicken salad. Like you got to like sit down and like buckle up, and be ready to expect what this game is very deliberately going to throw at you. I don't, that's my sort of what I'm.
And that's
you know,
probably
reading
why
in
that
the
probably does
tea
explain
leaves
some of the
there.
variability in those scores, right? Where some people
Yeah.
are just looking for this.
Right, which is interesting.
I think for me, the way that Microsoft was positioning this game and how kind of like important it felt to their lineup made me assume that this game would
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
we did a lot of assuming. I did too.
I think that may have been the problem here, where a lot of my assumptions were like, okay, this is going to be like a bigger, wider game to appeal to more audiences, and like this game had a lot of presence in like the last Summer Game Fest, the TGAs,
Didn't
right?
they do the big music thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was during the TGAs.
That was
That was during the TGAs. Yes.
that was nuts. Like that was just nuts. I remember
Well, you were
seeing that.
extremely high when that happened.
Well,
so.
obviously, I don't go anywhere not completely blitzed out of my mind. But like, I remember I was sitting next to Jake Baldino there, and we were just like looking at each other, hugging each other, being like, "What's happening right now?" And you could feel the flames. There were flames. You could feel that.
And I think it's like part of that presentation that maybe have negatively colored my view on the game before even jumping into it, is that like I'm being told that this is a very important game. You're gonna like this. This is gonna be huge. The storytelling's gonna be amazing. It's gonna look great. And then when I'm playing through it, it's like, oh, okay. I guess I'm just gonna push up on this analog
Yeah,
stick.
I think even if like we were making assumptions that were based on our own imagination with like, oh, this is going to be something that stands at the top tier of gaming, at the very least, my expectation was, and I think this is fair, that they would have evolved on what they did with the first game to try to bring in a wider audience and improve on what they did the first time around, which I think as a game, I think everyone kind of agreed. It's like, listen, you're not here for the combat. You're not here for the puzzles. Those things kind of get in the way of what's good here. It's like, okay, we'll make those things better this time. And it just sounds like that's not what happened.
Well, and I remember with the first one, they were saying things pre-release that sounded very interesting to me. Like they made a big push for like, it is. Yeah. So it's like, we're going to explore, mental illness and a serious fun. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I'd be curious to see how that goes. But also they said like, if you die enough times, we delete your save. And they just lied about that.
Yeah, that just never was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the
Andy
two things I
Serkis put the
found-
kibosh on that, I think.
Yeah, like two things that I thought were pretty interesting pre-release of the first one. Just I don't know. I don't think it was a particularly nuanced, great like look at mental health or anything. And also the cool we delete your save thing wasn't even real. So,
Yeah, I remember that. They did. That was like a big
I definitely wrote
talking
stories
point
about
for
that,
this
Mm-hmm.
for the first game. I forgot about that. You're right.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a lot of stuff around
Yeah,
this.
I think that's I think that's where my expectations are for this one, where it's like, okay, you did some talking last time and you didn't follow through on that. Now you have a chance to like work on this game for years and have Microsoft resources. Can you follow through this time and maybe do some weird stuff that catches us off guard? And it doesn't sound like that's happening either. For me, this game was never going to be for me. It sounds like my poison. Anytime I'm just like, I feel like I am pressing forward to make a video play on the screen, I am out almost immediately. And this one sounds like the worst offender yet.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, is this beginning worse for you than like the crawling scene in Metal Gear Solid 5?
I mean, look, the crawling scene is definitely not my favorite part of Metal Gear Solid
Sure.
5, but at least it's like, look, I'm obsessed with Metal Gear lore. So when I see shit going on, like, oh, what's with this fireman? Wait, it's playing Bowie music. It's like it was drenched in stuff that I'm into, which is just weird Metal Gear Kojima shit. Versus this is a world and a story and a character that I don't care about and didn't the first time around. Versus Metal Gear, me having like decades of obsession with this world beforehand. So like I was intrigued by what was happening. Not that like if I was to restart Phantom Pain tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, I'm really enjoying this crawling.
No,
like
of course
no,
not.
but the first time I was intrigued at least, where I was not here.
Okay.
Yeah. This feels like the movie The Northman, and I thought I'd like that, and I didn't like it.
I've been thinking about watching that. Would I like it?
There's some cool spear throwing in it.
That sounds cool.
Maybe I'm just like I'm ramping up my Anya Taylor-Joy fix to prepare for Furiosa.
Oh, I got my tickets.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Good night.
Grub, has Backlar, any of our discussion here influencing you to rush out and play it, or kind of
I'm
No,
gonna go,
I-
I'm gonna
meant-
see it myself.
Yeah, I meant to play it. I just like life gets in the way. You know what I mean?
ice cream, Reese's Pieces, at the
Ice
bottom of the
cream,
cup.
gas. certainly, I think I will start it. I just got to see it, and maybe that's the kind of like takeaway from this thing where like, I don't think it sounds like a game that you should maybe spend money on to just try it out, right? Like if that's
on Game
your
Pass.
takeaway from this, it is on Game Pass. So yeah, I think I might. I definitely mean to play it because like I said, played the first one. I am intrigued. I do have a soft spot for this developer. You know how I feel about Heavenly Sword and Odyssey to the west. Like obviously that's a bit. Those are games.
DMC. I'm a defender.
Totally, and
that's a great game.
I just there's something about this developer that I just have like a very. I'm like pot committed. There's something about it that I'm just like I want to. And it sounds like they're going to be making another game that's already on its way, so that's cool. Just maybe it's not this again. Maybe it's something else.
Grub,
But yeah.
I wonder, Grub. I feel like you and I have a lot of similar sensibilities with games, and is it fair to say that like the more something feels like a video game, the more we like it? Like the more you are like, and the less it feels like a video game, and more it feels like an interactive art piece or storytelling medium or something like.
And I think that would make people upset to be like, well, no, video games could be those things. And it's like, okay, but to me, I know what I think a video game should feel like, and it's. I always go to like way back to Super Mario Brothers versus Pitfall. People could be like, well, no, people could just prefer Pitfall because they like the way that feels. I'm like, yeah, but there's a reason more people choose Super Mario Brothers. It's because it feels more honest to our expectations of the way a character should move through space. And there's something primordial about that. And that is what we like. Video games can be universal because we all are alive and exist in a physical world that we interact with systems constantly. And I want a game to try to emulate that and play around with that space because that's the space we don't actually get to do stuff with in real life because there's consequences of hurting yourself or spending money or whatever, and video games can play around in that space way more than any other medium. So anytime a game feels like it's shying away from that to do something that feels like, well, we're going to be like a movie instead, to me it feels like a waste.
Yeah, well, even in games that aren't like purely cinematic, like I'm playing through Wind Waker again right now, and even that I'm like at the beginning hour, I'm like I gotta go through this fucking village and talk to my grandma and put on my clothes and shit. It's like I want to get to like that's why I love a Dead Cells, a Mario 64, an Astrobot or something where it's like you're neon white where you start a game and it's just like let's go, okay, I'm jumping, I'm doing stuff.
Those are the best.
Like that's kind of that's for us, and something like this
100%.
Or a lot of the kind of big kind of prestige game type thing or the big Sony single player stuff like. It takes. We can get there, but it's got to.
And I get that appeals to a different audience, and I'm glad they're getting their stuff. But for me, it's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, but okay. So I'm mostly on the same wavelength as you both. I care very deeply about storytelling in games because I do think it has won me over in the past before in a way that
it has for me too.
I've just been blown away by. I think. If you know me, I'm a BioShock mark for sure. Like, especially when the first game came out. What Remains of Edith Finch, I think, like, really affected me in a way that I was like, wow, you can do this. Like, this is possible. But as we've grown and as our tastes have evolved and as games have evolved in the way they kind of, like, present narrative, I do think, in the same way that, like, trends age out of vogue and become, trite and just sort of, like, lame, right? Like there hasn't been, in my opinion, a big enough jump in the way those two things are married, right?
Yeah.
And I think, this has obviously been a topic of conversation for a while with like your Uncharted's and your Last of Us's and whatnot. Like certainly that's swinging too far in one direction, right? So like, where does it make sense? How do you do it? That's what I'm interested to see is like being awoke, being like having that epiphany again of like, man, they fucking kind of did it. And I do think there's shades of it in games, in places, right?
I had that last year with Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, exactly. And look, like, I do think sometimes it swerved out of its lane a little bit and was just like, okay, well, we're entering like the walkie-talkie kind of thing a little bit. But yes, I agree, Jan. Like for me, for my money, like as a whole package, yes, that was the sort of like next milestone, right? For sure.
I like it when the story is happening around you. Like I remember it really when I played the first Half-Life. I remember I was so taken by like, you know, you'd just be walking past a room and you'd look in the window and you'd see something happening with a scientist and something's breaking in through the ceiling or whatever. And like, it's like, oh shit, I just happen to be looking at that. And sure, of course they make it so you're looking at that. But like, I never felt like I was taken out of the game. And yes, I realize how hypocritical this is as someone who's obsessed with Metal Gear Solid, the most put down your controller and let me talk to you game ever. But that's an anomaly. But
Yeah,
I like it when the story is happening around the game and you can choose to partake in as much
Prime
or as
4,
little bit as you want. Yeah.
Or Metroid Prime, excuse me, not 4.
No,
but yeah,
4,
Metroid Prime.
yes,
Yeah,
4.
4, yeah. We've been playing it, of course, yeah. Yeah, I think for me, when I start thinking about like where does this go and what is like the default, I think like story feels like when you go in that direction, you have options, but I think it's like you're going to see trends like, hey, we are going to be like a prestige movie, or we are going to be more like prestige TV, and that'll kind of come and go in waves. Whereas I think there's something more timeless, in my opinion, about a game that just goes and lets you be free. And if there's a story, you're experiencing it like as an ambient factor, like you were talking about, Dan. And I think like there's a reason we had Zelda go from The Legend of Zelda on the NES and kind of return to that just go be free in the world with Breath of the Wild. And it felt like, oh, okay, no, they got back to where they needed to be. They got sidetracked by a lot of other stuff, and they pigeonholed themselves, and now we're back to a point where it's like just go and play the game and experience this playbox or this sandbox that we set up for you, and that felt more rewarding to me in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, if I were to restart Breath of the Wild right now, I would be having fun way faster than I would in like a game that's also one of the best, like Ocarina of Time. You start Ocarina, and every time I start, I'm like, all right, and listen to this fucking tree talk about fairies for a while, you know? Like, whereas Breath of the Wild is, hey, go have fun.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
it's the default for me. I think that's like we will always come back to that point. In between those like that default, we will say, okay, let's try this with story. We're inspired by this, and I think that's completely fine. Of course, game developers could do whatever they want with that stuff.
Yeah, I think, you know, and I think most normal people, which we're a dying breed, but I do think like you sort of just have to like let things happen to you, right? Like play what seems interesting and do what you feels right, and
there's
give
always going
things
to be
a shot.
like we're going to be in different moods all the time, right? We're going to want something different every once in a while, for sure.
Totally. For me, like I'm always drawn by an aesthetic. I'm always drawn to a specific sort of aesthetic that like pulls me in, and maybe that's the first seal that gets broken, and then from there on, it's like, oh, you know what? This wound up being like a really great story with, you know, great gameplay. You have to be able to tick a few boxes, right? You can't just lean into one lane and just sort of have that be the only thing you're really excelling at. But yeah, this is a good conversation. I'm glad this game. It's good to hit now to have like this kind of reaction to. I think it's fucking awesome that reviews are like 100 to 2.
Oh yeah,
like I think that's awesome.
100%.
I think that's crazy and
because most big releases now, it's like they're all going to be kind of within that like 1.5, you know, on the Metacritic.
It's
you know,
sick. Very well respected outlets, like 100 very well respected outlets, 15, and you're like, wow, that's all over the place. What's going on here?
Yeah, for anyone who's into it, I'm happy for you. Absolutely. It's just not for me. Yeah.
We're not yucking anyone's yums here.
No.
Don't yuck our yums. Also, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Backlar, your point of like, I had the wrong assumptions going into this game is 100% spot on. Because like when I go into a visual novel game, I know what to expect. I don't think maybe because of my lack of familiarity with the series, I didn't know what to expect with Senua Saga. The whole time I was expecting a bunch of rats to come up, but I think I was confusing this game with A Plague's Tale Requiem.
No, or Willard, sure, yeah.
Oh, of course. But man, Plague's Tale, I can get down with that. Shoot me a bunch of rats. That shit was dope.
Yeah, those games do occupy a similar space in my brain as well, yeah.
Yeah. Senua Saga, Hellblade 2. It's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, go check that out. Or don't check it out. Go check out Mr. Mosquito for the PS2.
Yeah!
just download it and let it rot on your hard drive.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with video game news and an in-depth spoiler cast for Mr. Mosquito.
No,
Right after this.
please! Fuck with the family. It's what?
Okay.
The fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, I want to start this news segment by informing everyone that Charles Xavier is a fucking terrible person.
Yeah, listen. He's,
Professor
X-Men, X-Men related.
Professor X?
Professor
Yes.
X.
What
Professor
happened?
X fucking sucks, and he's always sucked. Cyclops is still cool. Anyway, Jeff, grab the news.
Yeah.
What a weird segue.
No, it wasn't really a segue there. It was just a declarative statement.
I have news in front of me. Let's start here with this thing that kind of popped off after we started the show, I think, or at least I didn't see it until afterward. Looks like IGN Entertainment is acquiring Eurogamer, GamesIndustry.biz, excuse me, VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more. As part of this acquisition, there will be redundancies made, so people are going to be losing their jobs at UK-based organizations, according to Christopher Dring, who is the head of games B2B and publishing over there at the Gamers Network. Hey, yeah, more sort of like media consolidation, people getting laid off. It's wild out there. I kind of don't know what to make of this, other than I knew Gamers, the Gamer Network was like looking for someone to acquire them for quite some time. IGN,
Have they said anything about whether they're planning on folding people under the IGN banner, or if they're trying to keep them operating under their own names?
I think they're going to try to keep them operating under their own names for the most part. Gamer Network's publications are GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, and Dicebreaker. The business also it looks like they're just saying right now that they are going to bring those brands under this IGN Entertainment umbrella that includes IGN, Map Genie, How Long to Beat. I didn't know they own that.
I did not either.
And Humble Bundle. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to add more to their roster. It doesn't necessarily sound like they're going to shut those sites down immediately or anything like that. But this is never a great sign because, these companies lose interest over time and someone could be left out to dry. But also, it was getting hard out there for websites like this because of changes made to Google recently and search engine optimization. That's left a lot of these sites reeling anyhow. So it's not been great out there. This is not going to be some worse fate necessarily.
Yeah, it's just God, I just worry about our peers across the industry, and then
Correct.
Also just like the amount of different voices in the space dramatically getting cut down.
Yep.
I mean, historically, there were always so few full-time positions writing about or talking about video games, even going back to the 90s, and like that has shrunk so dramatically in recent years. So anytime you hear about consolidation or just less opportunities, less openings, that does suck.
Yeah, apparently not included in this is Video Games Chronicle, whose site I use constantly for news. I think they're the best site for video game news. I don't necessarily know what their relationship was with the Gamer Network because I don't think they ever fully owned VGC, but there was a partnership there. So maybe that partnership's not going to continue is what they're trying to say here. Either way, I hope VGC is able to continue. I hope all these sites are able to keep on as much staff as possible. It's a weird one though. And it's like, man, that IGN still owned by Ziff Davis. Ziff Davis still out there making acquisitions. That's that one.
What? Yeah, like
What else do they
remember.
do?
Well, they like when I started at CNET, that the building that CNET's offices were in on 28th and Park, Dan, that building we used to work at.
Yeah.
It was called the Ziff Davis building.
Yeah.
And I guess like PC Mag was there.
Okay. I'm on Ziff Davis's website now. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like, and again, I could be misremembering, but I feel like the answer to me was always like, the question being like, how is Ziff Davis still this like dark puppet master for media? Yeah. And it's like, there's some, I remember the answer always being like, well, they have this like very monopolistic B2B thing that like everyone relies on. And I don't remember any other specificity there.
I'm looking at their current portfolio on their website here. So gaming and entertainment, they've got IGN, Humble, and Humble Games. Technology, they own Mashable, PC Mag, Performance Marketing, Ziff Davis, and Aberdeen Strategy. They also, Ookla? Why do I know Ookla? Is Ookla the speed test people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
Zip
that's-
Davis runs the
It's
speed
just a lot of
test
data.
now.
A lot of
Speedtest.com
data.
is that? Let me go there
Oh,
and see what
Down
happens.
Detector. They have Down Detector.
Sure.
Root Metrics. Retail Me Not, the promo
God,
code
speechless.com.
site.
Data, baby.
BlackFriday.com. Offers.com. Baby Center, of course. All the stars are
Oh.
here. Cybersecurity, Strong VPN, Martech. They have a lot of brands, and they just got some more, it seems.
They've also shut down a lot of brands.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean-
mean, that's the thing, right? Like, no acquisition, unfortunately, finishes without layoffs.
Yes, and that definitely hit here. Yes, and again, these companies weren't in great shape. They had been laying people off before they got acquired, but that getting acquired was not going to slow that down, and definitely is going to cause some redundancies here, where it's like we don't need you, so that doesn't make sense to keep you, and that's always the challenge with acquisitions. Yeah, I hope these sites are able to keep going. I've visited all of these properties before. I've used all their news before on Game Mass Mornings, things like that. So we don't need an industry where we have even fewer people covering games in a serious way. And that
Also
would stink.
across Europe as well, right?
Right.
Like, I worry about how this hurts the industry over there as well. Like
Is
covering
Edge
it.
still around?
Edge is still publishing a magazine every month. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Good. Keep
Yeah,
that.
they just-
keep that up.
Yeah, they just did a really good cover. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get that. But yeah, they're still doing that. I hope they are able to keep doing that. Exactly. Yeah. This is the kind of thing where it's a down period in 2024. If these companies had been able to maybe last until 2025, they probably could have got a better price or dictated terms a little bit better, because it's just going to be kind of advertising revenue is down across the board for everyone, and it's not bouncing back very speedily. So that definitely is what hurt these companies. Okay, let's see here. Let's get to the news I had written down here. Nintendo agrees to deal to buy Hogwarts Legacy Mortal Kombat Switch port studio. Here, let's start here. Nintendo intends to finalize the acquisition of Miami-based Shiver Entertainment, the developer behind many significant Nintendo Switch ports. Nintendo announced it has agreed with Shiver's current owner, Embracer Group, to acquire 100% of the company's outstanding shares, making it a fully owned subsidiary. Since 2012, Shiver has worked on porting and developing software for the Switch, such as Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 11. Nintendo aims to secure high-level resources for porting and developing software titles by acquiring Shiver's experienced development team. That's probably what is going to continue happening here. Is Shiver, at the very least, is very familiar with the technology that Nintendo uses to make the Switch and what is required to port games to that platform. And the likely scenario here is Nintendo makes Shiver available to major third parties so they can port their games. Yeah.
Honestly, that Mortal Kombat Switch version, I remember thinking, how the fuck is this going to work? And I like the way they did it, and because instead of just trying to make it, the high fidelity and just chugging frame rate wise and everything, it's clearly less detailed. It doesn't look as good, but it ran pretty well. I remember being very surprised by that. So I don't know. That seems promising to me.
Yep. I mean, and really anyone getting those games to run on Switch in any way is okay, you're magicians. So you clearly know something, even if it's not the best way to play those games, which obviously it isn't. And Mortal Kombat 11's ports, Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch wasn't as bad as Mortal Kombat 1. That one was really rough.
I didn't play the one. 11 is the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly. So, and that was actually pretty impressive. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you see this as Nintendo figuring out a way to pad out the rest of their year until the Switch 2 comes out? Of
it might be hard to rely on them to do something that quickly.
Sure.
Hey, you guys want to make a Metroid? We got this Prime 4 over here if you want to finish that up.
Yeah, no one's working on it. It's just sitting on a shelf. Yeah, I think this is probably the likely scenario here is they will have them build out official tools that become part of the Nintendo Switch 2 development kit that make it a lot easier to port games from x86 to what the Switch uses, which is an ARM-based NVIDIA processor. And then the team will be there as a support staff for these teams, or in some cases, this team will just straight up take a game that is on another platform that's big and do all of the work to get it ported over to a Nintendo platform. They'll only be able to do so much of that at any one time. So don't expect every major game to hit the Switch 2. But I think, there's a world in which Nintendo's it probably does benefit us to have Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch 2 at some point. Maybe this helps facilitate something like that.
Isn't that something that like Iron Galaxy was doing a lot of?
Oh, yeah.
Iron Galaxy is definitely a port studio. That's one of their main like work for hire programs. Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, they're not the like the only one in that space. A Panic Button is another one that does a lot of huge ports to the Switch. They did like Rocket League and a bunch of others. And there's a team that did. Oh, who did? Saber Interactive did The Witcher, and that was impressive. And that's another team that's now on their own out of Embracer. Also, the studio probably wasn't like some massive acquisition. They were probably pretty small, and that seems to be where Nintendo's at with acquisitions, where it's like if it's a small team that serves a strategic purpose, they'll go ahead and make that move. But recently, Furukawa, the president of Nintendo, said that they have no intention of like fully getting into the we're acquiring everything sort of mindset. So this doesn't speak to that. This is right in line with what they've been doing with their money when they have the opportunity to make a purchase for a relatively small amount of money. All right, Rockstar and Take-Two have given a timeline for Grand Theft Auto 6. It is scheduled to release in the fall of 2025, as confirmed by Take-Two's financial report for the fiscal year of 2024. The game's trailer, released in December, amassed over 190 million views, surpassing the lifetime views of GTA 5's debut trailer. The trailer also revealed the game's setting in Vice City and introduced a pair of protagonists. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick expressed confidence in a meeting that announced the launch window for Grand Theft Auto 6, despite acknowledging potential for slippage in the industry. He emphasized the focus on creating an unprecedented experience with Rockstar Games striving for perfection. But he says they're confident that the game will actually launch in the second half, in fall of 2025. A big game coming at some point. There was a time where this game was expected to launch before March of next year. Now it's going to be, sometime probably like October, November of next year. You guys think you're going to actually be playing this game next fall?
Come on.
No.
If we do, maybe it's the thing where like online is fully launched in like the spring.
Sure.
Yeah, where it's like, all right, we got the campaign or got the story mode ready to go. But because remember 5 with online had a rough few months. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's part of that was like they just didn't believe in online until it launched and became massively popular.
Yeah, they might know what they're doing over there. So
Take your time, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the likeliest thing here is that they're going to get to there and they're like, if we took a little bit more time, it'll be that much better and that'll be worth it because it is totally going to make its money back. This is like the one guarantee.
Exactly. This is the only sure thing in video games.
Yep.
So I guess because of that, you can ask the question of like, why even just have this thing? Like, why even have this like completely unpredictable roadmap? Like what service?
There's
like
an answer there.
In service of what? Right.
Yeah. So their earnings were either revenue or their profits were down pretty in a pretty harsh way this last quarter. And they once said they were expecting they're telling investors, hey, we're expecting to make $8 billion in revenue. And now they've wound that down to like $5 billion. So they have to like give investors like, okay, clearly we've moved Grand Theft Auto, which we once thought was going to launch in this fiscal year.
Right.
But we're promising it's going to come out next year. So please don't freak out and sell all your stock.
Right. But like, that's my point. It's the one thing that's like, to me, this information is more or less like built into the market. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
but it's like investors are so stupid. They're like just worried about them getting scared and running away. Like, it's not coming out next fiscal year either. I'm panicking and selling now. There is the chance for that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. Just feel, it's again, it's an anomaly, this franchise, so it gets like this weird special treatment, but yeah.
What is this is clearly the behemoth is this game on the horizon. Like what is number 2?
Switch 2.
I mean, like,
Elder Scrolls?
You mean software? You mean software?
Yeah, like an individual game. Oh, Elder Scrolls? I mean,
maybe.
I know it's so nebulous at this point, but like, I mean, that is an announced title. That's probably the second biggest
I was going to say Mario.
Well, like Mario's like, I feel like it's a known quantity.
I mean, Mario doesn't sell like Skyrim numbers, does it?
The last one it did. Mario Odyssey sold like we're getting to like 30 million copies. And
the last mainline. Oh yeah, mainline, of course.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
What
do you think I meant? Like,
what game were you talking about, Dan?
Wonder. Well, yeah, the side ones.
Dan's right. Oh my God, Dan.
No, I wasn't talking about Wonder.
The 2D Mario games are like some of the best-selling games of all time. Even like the new Super Mario Brothers games.
I meant like an Odyssey 2 or whatever.
Yes. Inside Mario.
I'm not playing this game. But I'm having a normal conversation.
Yep.
And fucking
Dan is wrong.
early
Put that on your
morning
soundboard.
morning drive DJ over here is fucking firing off a soundboard like some freak from the 90s.
To get your question, like, what is after Grand Theft Auto 6? What is there? I mean, the answer is it's Call of Duty again. Like, as depressing as that is.
Really?
So it's like a FIFA, a Madden.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, FIFA's popular.
Straight face.
Sorry, we didn't mean to attack your baby, back
That's not a baby. Look, Nicki Minaj changed everything.
Sure, she
Okay.
changed the game.
There's a clear line in the sand that's been drawn. We're living in a post Nicki Minaj world in Call of Duty, folks. Be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I like Star Wars Outlaws looks promising to me. That's like so far away from what these games are.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
yeah. All right, so let's see here. To your wider point, though, Dan, that is what the industry's sort of waiting for. Investors are like, once GTA 6 is here and once Switch 2 is here, we'll feel better about things again. And that's when people will probably let off some of the pressure on the industry. But that's kind of grim until then. So we'll see. All right. 2K will reveal a sequel to one of its biggest and most beloved franchises next month at Summer Game Fest.
Saboteur?
Right, that's got to be the Saboteur they're referring to, right? The nipple
I think
DLC
so.
too, yeah. Biggest and most beloved franchise is how they described it. It'll be at Summer Game Fest on Friday, June 7th. What is your guys' initial reaction besides the obvious answer of the Saboteur?
Oh, I guess it's EA. I just looked it up.
Tina.
It's EA.
That's right. Yeah, it was the nipple
Wait, who
DLC
pulled the
thing. That's-
Saboteur?
yeah. It feels like a 2K game. I get what you're saying.
Have they announced that BioShock?
No, so BioShock seems like the most likely. to
Right.
Guys,
me.
Yeah.
it's gonna be Borderlands.
Okay,
You
everyone
think?
sit down and relax.
I was
Don't
gonna
you?
say Mafia?
No, it's not. No, here I am with the BioShock take. I just think, like, I selfishly, this is just about me. I'm only going to talk from my position and my position alone, the way my relationship with BioShock. I can't have a BioShock 4 from the two, like, which 2K team is going to make it? What was it, like,
I can't.
Marin or
that,
something like
I
that?
can't remember. Marin,
Marin?
Boston. I don't know.
Wait, what is
Boston
that
Marin?
cloud chamber thing?
Irrational.
No, well, it's
The Rush will shut down. I
So
can't
you're
remember.
gonna have BioShock 4, maybe, and then you're gonna have Judas, and I'm just gonna be there's just gonna be that. We're looking at a potential that situation, and I think that I'm sure someone's thought about it, but I haven't heard anyone say it out loud yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Like Judas is BioShock, right? Like,
Oh,
I mean,
yes,
like, come
definitely.
on, what are we? So like, that's all. I just want to say that out loud, and I want to get everyone's take.
yeah, I mean, I think that BioShock will be able to have its own place because it's got that brand familiarity, and Judas will have to be a really good game to get attention. But there's a chance it could do that. It's probably BioShock. I think there's a chance that it's Civilization 7 because that's actually bigger than all those games and also beloved in a way where it's more beloved than those games, actually, when you talk to that audience. But this feels like when they're saying this sort of thing, they're speaking to a certain audience. It's probably expecting BioShock. So.
Or what's real hot right now is class-based shooters. Maybe it's time to bring out the
Battleborn, yeah.
buddies again.
God.
The real hobby grade games are back now. All right, let's go.
My money's on BioShock for this one.
I would bet on BioShock.
I'm gonna keep betting on odd ones. Duke Nukem. It's gonna be Duke Nukem.
There you go.
They're going to try that at some point.
They will.
There was
did
that
buy
young Duke
Gearbox,
Nukem that
didn't
was
they?
in development for a little bit.
Oh, like a young
God.
Sheldon, but Duke Nukem.
yes, that was happening
Zero
a long time
difference.
ago.
Yeah, they're the
That-
same exact thing.
Man, oh god, my parents watch Young Sheldon like it's something to do, and I'm just like,
It's appointment viewing, buddy.
it's just so.
That show is apparently so popular. I
It's so-
just don't get it.
thought it ended.
TV is
It did
so
just end.
fucking insane right now. I
Right.
don't understand what's happening.
Let us pitch a show.
Yep.
Oh, wait, so like also
Younger
my parents.
Sheldon.
Not to make it about my parents, but they're out for the day, so I can scream as loud as I want, Dad. And fucking
He's working through things, people. Just bear with us.
These guys, these two, they fucking watch Everybody Loves Raymond on some network, some TV network, and these people are sitting there from like 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. watching these reruns, and they are getting served all the commercial, and I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening.
What is it with old people and Everybody Loves Raymond? Because like when it was airing, my
for them.
The show's not bad.
It's fine, but like my grandpa loved it so much. He asked, Danny, do you like do you watch the Raymond show? And I was like, no. And he literally said, there's something wrong with your brain.
No, the Brad Garrett, Peter Boyle, like, I get it. Like, that's the whole show.
That's
like,
Brady? Oh, wow. Yeah.
Hey, Raymond. It's
We're
like
gonna
that
get a
kid.
copyright strike here.
Yeah, I know. Watch out, everyone. I know it's less than 5 seconds, but I think it's just like, I don't know. Like, why are you watching so many commercials?
Garrett,
Why are you watching so many commercials? Why are you watching so many
commercials too? Isn't that a thing with your parents or
my
with your
dad gets mad and says, oh, your generation doesn't watch commercials. Because my dad will be like, oh, it's like that one commercial for Car Shield. Where it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, oh, right. The millennials don't watch commercials.
Yeah, your dad has like a masculinity weirdness thing going on. But
a lot of things. Yeah.
But there's that. But my parents, I just don't understand. Like, I sit him down once a week and we talk about this and he's like, I'm going to try and do better, but it doesn't manifest into any forward moving progress.
Well, the good news is all these video game companies are considering putting commercials into video games, so it's only a matter of time.
Maybe I'll get them to play one.
The thing for Kinect I was excited about was
McDonald's?
Like, to keep playing the game, you stand up and yell McDonald's.
McDonald's!
I was fucking ready for that.
Yeah.
I do that anyway.
Yeah. That's just, it bursts forth. I can't control myself.
It comes out of my body.
I'm going to freak out. It's like somebody said Mr. Mosquito.
Mr. Mosquito, McDonald's. All right,
Fantastic.
let's move here. What was that headline?
Sorry.
No, that's no problem.
That was my keyboard shortcut.
Valve's next game, a hero shooter called Deadlock, has seemingly leaked. Images of what is reportedly Valve's next game called Deadlock are circulating on social media. It appears to be a 6v6 hero shooter with tower defense mechanics. It's a Overwatch MOBA, basically.
Why?
MOBA Watch.
MOBA Watch. Because... I don't know. At a certain point, if you just like, well, we got to make a game, this is what you come up with.
Does Valve know that they also have Team Fortress?
Yeah, but they can't make Team Fortress 3 because then they're a third game.
I'm noticing this is not Half-Life 3. What's that?
Yeah, again, they just can't go to a third game, so they had to make a new one. I don't know. Yeah, Monday Night Combat, is it like that? It definitely looks a lot like Overwatch, or I guess Valorant.
I'm just surprised there's not a game called Deadlock already.
Yeah.
And Ratchet and Clank?
You think the podcast boys are going to sue him?
Yeah, John Blood's lawyering up right now.
Hell yeah. Get their
TM.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good luck. It's Valve. They can make good games, and if it's on Steam's front page, a lot of people are going to see it, but that didn't help Artifact.
No.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Artifact, a video game that once existed.
Okay, I can make up games too. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think I was telling Tam when we were talking about this. Nothing about this is moving me. Nothing about this is getting me.
You don't like steampunk?
Yeah, it's not moving me. That's what I would say about that. Yes. Okay. Up next, Xbox will apparently make changes to the Game Pass model when it adds Call of Duty. It's claimed. Xbox is reportedly planning to make changes to its Game Pass subscription model when the next Call of Duty game is released. The inclusion of Call of Duty in Game Pass is expected to bring more subscribers to the service, and Xbox may use this opportunity to refresh the structure of Game Pass. Insider Shinobi602 confirmed that there will be changes to Game Pass, but did not specify what they will be. What do you guys think they could change to get more out of Game Pass? I suppose the obvious thing is a price increase, right?
Just don't do
tiers?
the fucking confusing tiered
They
Sony
might.
thing. The Sony thing is still a mess. It still sucks. Like, just don't do that. Like that was part of what made Game Pass so enticing. It's like, here's the thing, you subscribe to it. I know they split it with PC and console and stuff like that, but it's one price, you get all this shit. And the Sony thing has been a mess since, PS Plus expanded. So I just don't want more of that.
I think that's exactly where they're headed.
Yeah, what else? I mean, again, let's try and. I don't want to get too creative here
Well, at least name it better then.
Or make it certainly tiers is an option. They haven't done. They leveled the playing field a while back.
So yeah, they have Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, and Ultimate comes with online multiplayer and stuff and PC. It sounds like most people subscribe to that tier because most people want to be able to play games online, so that gets them Xbox Live. So they just do that. So they're probably looking at that bottom tier and like, what can we do to sort of either force even more people to step up to Ultimate or to make this one make more sense?
You think they would do like like Game Pass Activision, Game Pass
Battle.net.
Yeah, that one feels rough because it's like I think the whole appeal of a subscription service is you get the subscription service and you see, look at all these brands under
they're
these,
all
they're all
here,
represented
right?
here. I feel like I'm getting so much more. I'm paying once and I'm getting all these things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I think the most extreme thing they could do is take day one games out of Game Pass and put them only in Ultimate. So that means if you want to get Call of Duty, you got to pay up to $17 per month.
So just gate the timed.
Right. So there's
exclusivity.
there's a vault of games on the base tier, and then day one goes up to the next tier. I think the other most extreme thing, like the secondary most extreme, would be a new cheaper tier, $5 per month, that is supported by ads.
Where you watch like a commercial before you get to drop in.
They're gonna do the Prime thing, or no, it's Peacock. When you pause your game, an ad pops up.
There's
Dan?
worse. There's worse. Like
But Dan, you're already
McDonald's.
making room for that. You're
It'll get worse.
normalizing that.
It will get worse. Yes.
I mean, an ad
manufacturing
popping up-
consent
An
is what he's
ad
doing.
popping up while I'm paused is less intrusive than other options. You know,
Hey, it's
I'm
a
not- I don't
screensaver, am I
want
right?
it. Yeah.
You know, it's a pixel saver is what that is.
Yeah, but what if you
that
couldn't unpause until 3 minutes of ads played?
Wait, what?
What if you couldn't unpause your game until 3 minutes of ads
There's
played?
no
Well, that sucks.
way.
That sucks.
I'm just like, I don't think there's no way. I think that there's a slippery slope.
I will yell McDonald's so fucking loud.
Okay, yeah. I will bellow McDonald's until
Yeah.
the console fears me.
I will DoorDash McDonald's even if I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Well, now that you've put it like that, Grub, I could see a future where it's like, hey, you gotta sit through a minute of ads before you boot up this game.
Dude,
Right. Oh, yeah,
like,
100%.
don't just no.
No, it's gonna happen, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it will start. It's what's happening with Prime Video right now. Oh, it's one little ad for something that's already on Amazon Video, and then it's like, well, here's an ad for something that's on Amazon, and now here's 2 minutes of ads, and they're promising it's gonna ramp up and get even more intrusive.
I mean, this is like kind of across entertainment right now,
Yes,
right?
it's
Like all
everywhere.
the
It's
streaming stuff
inevitable.
is getting way more, like just so many more tiers, so many more just like, oh, okay, get this bundle, you know, the whole
Yeah.
it's becoming cable again type thing. It's like we really did have a heyday where it's like we had Netflix and Hulu for a while on the entertainment streaming stuff, and then like Game Pass and PS Plus for a little bit, and then everything just gets so much more confusing and expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just going to sort of like go back to this default state of what we're not going to say no to the advertising revenue, so we're going to jam it in here anywhere we can. And yeah, and I think games seem like they're due for something similar. Although, you know, the good news is gamers don't take this stuff well, so there would be a massive backlash, and these companies are actually afraid of that. So maybe
Yeah, Dan's the only one welcoming this. I mean,
No,
I feel
I'm
like
not. I just want to yell McDonald's, man.
no one's stopping you from yelling
yeah,
McDonald's.
yell all you want.
McDonald's!
Yeah,
See?
yell all
Okay.
you want.
All right.
I would
better?
honestly, I
Yeah,
think I would
okay.
rather have product placement. I'd rather have
sure.
like without a doubt.
Yeah, more Obama billboards in, you know,
Yeah,
Burnout
like-
Paradise 2.
Like, give me like Call of Duty's, like, you know, give me Target's presents Call of Duty. Like, it's
Sure.
fine. Like, just do that. Sell the naming rights. I don't give a
Target
shit.
skins in all video games. I'd wear that. I'm a basic
KFC and
Oh
Crazy
my God.
Taxi, yeah.
No, there'd be so many people buying Target skins in
Yes, of
Fortnite.
course.
Just like a red shirt with a name
Right.
tag.
Yeah. Like, oh
not
my God,
bad.
I get to be Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, look at me. I'm a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. I would buy that. Yeah.
Did once Karate Sheep in Fortnite, if anyone's listening.
I did see that he
Karate
took
Sheep?
over. He took over your Twitter account to say
Yeah,
that they should keep Karate
well,
Sheep.
you know, we
in
have a
there.
friend who works for Epic, and he thinks that like he like owns Epic. He thinks he like makes Fortnite, and he just
Right.
sits at like a Matrix
Well, he
command
does.
center, and he's just like, I will now put Garfield in Fortnite with a push of a button. So he's like, hey, can you tell him to put Karate Sheep in Fortnite? How do I tell him
Wait,
that?
is Karate
here-
Sheep a thing? Is that
Karate
like a
Sheep
blue
is a-
thing or something?
What is
or-
Karate Sheep?
So, great question. Karate Sheep, as far as I understand it, is a French animated cartoon on Netflix that is just like sort of Roadrunner Coyote shenanigans.
Okay.
It's mostly harmless. It's kind of like Grizzly, Grizzy and the Lemmings, that show on
I'm-
Netflix as well.
Sure.
It's more just like, Coyote versus Roadrunner shit.
He still hasn't seen Jaws?
No, Dan. And
Okay.
yeah, it's very Ohio, Christian. Ohio comes out of this kid's mouth more than any other word aside from
is it
bet.
Skibbity Ohio? Yeah.
No, he's going to Ohio. Bet. I'm just like, I'm like, what? I'm like, it's like whatever, man. You just sound dumb. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't
These damn
care.
kids.
I get it. I know I sounded dumb when I was 9, but like, you sound dumb.
See,
Anyway.
I can't remember. Did Dave get onto a sketch with the "What's up, brothers"?
Yeah, he's like, it's Tuesday, brother. Tuesday, brother.
Hell yeah! All right, well, that's a good thing.
Anyway, Karate Sheep.
Don't worry, Dave.
I said to him, I said, Dib, like Karate Sheep, that branch is not big enough to find its way into Fortnite. Like, you think it could stand next to Lady Gaga? You think it's stand next to these kind of like monoliths of pop culture? Anyway, he wanted to put out the message. So I said, here, type what you want, and I'll just hit send. There you go.
All right, well, good luck with that, Dib.
I'm gonna sue Karate Sheep gimmick infringement with a red beanie. I don't like this.
Oh, that's right, Jen. You might have a case on your hands, bud.
Sorry,
I look
man.
like I'm cosplaying as Karate Sheep right now. If you look it up.
It's pretty funny. Like, it's pretty good. He's got like decent taste and
There's
stuff.
a higher likelihood that I think Bluey would get added to Fortnite.
Oh, for sure.
Bluey belongs in Fortnite. I don't know if Bluey
give
should be
Bluey
holding
a
a
gun.
sniper, but
Yo, banded behind that thing? Woo!
no. Jen, you and I both know what franchise is well overdue to be inserted into Fortnite. Come on. Nope.
Hockey?
No. In the Venn diagram of things that you and I overlap in, is hockey in the middle?
Coffee.
No. How can coffee be in Fortnite?
Hats?
Oh,
New hats?
You know, no
I
hats.
wear
maybe.
the same hat.
Bulge.
Jen, what franchise? What Cartoon Network franchise?
Regular show.
Put
regular
regular
show.
show.
They do deserve guns.
Why can I not go around as Pops? Oh, Victory Royale. Come on, like, what are we doing?
Voices back
What are we
alive.
doing? Put it in there.
Man. Oh, man. Okay.
Do kids care about Ren and Stimpy?
No.
Well, regular show is like born from it, I think, in a lot.
Updated,
Like
yeah.
it's just another evolution of it. You
I
know?
hate that I would buy the crap out of a Hanna-Barbera pack.
Oh,
my
sure.
God, a space
Yeah.
race
Oh,
pack?
Space
Yeah.
Race would be great.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, and also like, I don't know, Aqua Teen should be in Fortnite too. Like, how are we not putting that?
Like
you
that
know,
fucked up buggy that talks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
What are
God,
we
the
doing?
shark thing? Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. They got that racing game in there. Just
Scrappy Doo?
Yeah.
Let me be Scrappy Doo, and I could be like Oddjob in Goldeneye.
I would buy a Harvey Birdman skin in Fortnite instantaneously.
Yeah. They could get Colbert to do the voice again. That'd be great. Okay.
Gary Cole is Harvey Birdman. You're
Oh, that's
thinking
right.
of
He
Seven.
was the boss.
He was Seven.
Stephen Colbert
yeah.
was the boss, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
7.
Okay, let's see here. Where did I leave off? Xbox will make, yes. Okay. Xbox has reportedly green-lighted Ninja Theory's next game. Xbox has reportedly approved the next game from Hellblade developer Ninja Theory. There are no plans to close Cambridge, UK, the Cambridge, UK-based studio, which Microsoft acquired in 2018. Now, I'll say, like, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
That doesn't mean anything. They could decide, they could change their mind at any moment, and I don't know if there's, I mean, there's no guarantee I feel like Microsoft could give a studio right now that would make them feel 100% secure. So like them even having a green-lighted project going forward doesn't really change the fact that it seems like any studio could be on the chopping block going forward, but it's better than not having a game green-lighted, I would say. So there's some good news there. What do you guys want from this studio next?
DMC.
Man.
Did we just
something
talk
like
about? Did
that.
we just do that? Did I maybe I read ahead in the news stories? where I
Well,
was
we were just like we're saying like what they've done in the past that we like, but I mean now there's an opportunity to be like, okay, we're past Hellblade 2. Do you want them to go back to something familiar?
I mean, I don't know if I wanted them to go back to something familiar, but certainly, I think Dan would agree. It sounds like we look at their pedigree with a fonder sort of memory, right? So, I think a more action forward thing would be pretty sick. And I think they have amazing artists there, and let's get crazy. Ask Andy Serkis to do some fucking shit. I don't know.
Is Heavenly Sword Sony owned at all, or is that just exclusive?
I don't
Like
know.
the IP.
I think it was a PS3 exclusive.
It was an
It was
exclusive, but I don't
exclusive,
know
for
if
sure.
Sony owned the IP or if it was
Oh, I
just
don't know.
exclusive to PS3. Yeah.
And I don't know if are you getting at like a Heavenly Sword 2? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just trying to think of other stuff they've done. I didn't super love
Odyssey,
my sword.
Enslaved, Odyssey to the
That's
West.
fun. That's fun.
Game
What?
rules.
Why don't we have a good Planet of the Apes game?
Easy.
Oh, yeah,
Jan.
they could do that. That'd be
Easy,
fun.
Jan.
Yo, I watched the third one in the new trilogy.
That one
Man.
is
War,
so
the Woody
good.
Harrelson one?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that movie had me just like doing like this to the apes. I'm like, yeah, y'all should win.
Apes
Yeah.
together strong. Yeah, let's
Those
go.
movies are fun. I love
Oh,
those
they're
movies.
great. I like that one especially. All right, more Xbox games reportedly could come to PS5 as part of Microsoft's Latitude project. Basically, this is an initiative to look at every single game to potentially bring to PS5. There is a like sort of fuzzy red line around some stuff like Halo, but even those games like Satya Nadella is like, no, we don't want any red line. Everything should be up for grabs to go to PlayStation. So that conversation is ongoing. But at the very least, they have this project that is, hey, everything is now maybe going over to PS5.
God,
Not
playing
too surprising.
Halo with a PlayStation controller would feel weird as hell. Even
It
like
would
Ghost of
feel
Tsushima on
unholy.
PC, I was playing on an Xbox Elite, and I was like, this feels fucked up.
Yep.
Like,
Halo
imagine
would be
Halo.
the weirdest one.
Yes,
by far.
100%. Yes.
Although, I mean, I guess you could play Halo on PC, so you could plug in a PlayStation controller now, but who would
Sure,
do
who-
that? That
no
would be
one does
crazy.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mouse and keyboard right there. Redfall will receive its offline update. Arcane Austin's final update for Redfall will introduce offline play, revamped neighborhood and nest systems, and single-player pausing. An incredible feature. The decision to release the update comes despite Microsoft's recent announcement of the studio's closure. So it sounds like what happened here is there was enough of a backlash. They're like, I guess we should finish this so the game can be playable offline, because previously you were going to need a connection to a server, and there was just no way that was going to last for very long after this. I mean, probably years, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not too long. So this update will now make the game playable completely offline, and it's nice that they're getting it out there, but this just reminds me, hey, they're closing down Arcane Austin, and that sucks.
Yeah. Oh God, for this to be the last thing you work on.
Yep. Yeah, and then you just gotta walk out the door and the studio's done. So yeah, that stinks. That's how it's going down. Total War Star Wars is reportedly in development at Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly is reportedly developing a Star Wars game, which is one of 3 Total War games that are in development as of October 2023. Sega normally releases a new Total War game annually, with the last exceptions being 2021 and 2014. Creative Assembly has done a lot of these Total War games. They were also making that Hyenas shooter, and that got shut down. They're no longer working on that. But from what I've heard, they've been working on this Total War Star Wars game for at least like the last year or so. So that would mean it's still pretty early in development. But I think this is a good fit.
Oh my God, a Star Wars RTS? That sounds really cool. Yeah,
Have they
has
not-
that happened at
Yeah.
some point?
It's happened a couple times. There's Star Wars Empire at War, and there's Star Wars Rebellion or something like that. I think they're both real-time strategy and not turn-based. But yeah, they were like in the heyday of those games.
Okay.
And there is
Really?
Yeah,
God,
there's
I'm surprised I didn't play them.
quite a bit of fondness for those games, especially Empire at War. And I think with this one, they're like, we'll try to capture some of that, but it's going to be a Total War game. But Total War is a great fit for that, because you could just have like squadrons of stormtroopers and stuff.
Oh, that
It
sounds
could fit.
awesome. Yeah.
It sounds really good. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, this sounds really cool.
Yeah, well, we'll see like if they get around to announcing it anytime soon. Again, it sounds like it's very early, but
I don't know anyone that really plays Total War. Are those supposed to be pretty good right now?
yes, they've been good for 20 years ish, and they're still very good. People really like them. It's like you're not commanding whole armies. You're not commanding like just a little platoon like in Company of Heroes. It's like a large squadron or something like that, where you're going to have a couple hundred units, and then you're going to go into a battle with them, and it's pretty cool. Just it's like slow moving, so you can like adjust your strategies on the fly, and then it all happens on screen in front of you. It's a really cool series. There's a reason there's been so many of them.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. That sounds really cool.
Yoko Taro's new game might be near, and it might not be near. Square Enix executive
Shut up.
Yosuke Saito and Nier series director Yoko Taro are collaborating on a new project with composer Keiichi Okabe. Saito mentioned the project during a discussion with former Capcom producers. Details are scant, but Saito hinted that it may or may not be related to the Nier series. That means it's near, right? Why would you say this if it's not near?
Such a
Yeah.
weird way to frame it.
I think if it's not near, you say it's not near.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And listen, I think there's a possibility that it's like near related, and maybe they go back to Drakengard or they do some new spinoff. But I think it's related to Nier in some way. That's what this sounds
I need to know if there was Yoko Taro, did he have a little smile on his face after he said this?
Well, Yoko Taro was, as always, wearing his giant like Moon Man helmet, whatever the hell that thing is. So,
good gimmick.
so yes,
It's a good
what,
gimmick.
What did the
very
vibe
good.
feel like then under the Moon Man gimmick?
The smile on the face, like what you were suggesting. That was the vibe.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Nier.
Yeah, probably gonna be Nier. We'll see. This is a fun one. Masahiro Sakurai refused to add Dolby Surround to a Kirby game because players had to sit through the logo.
Hell yes.
Yes, what a hero. Sakurai, the creator of Kirby and the director of the Smash Brothers series, once removed a Dolby Surround from a game because the logo would have added extra waiting time for the player. During a live stream celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Arcade Archive series, Sakurai emphasized the importance of reducing loading times, arguing that players should be able to jump from one game to another quickly. To illustrate his point, he revealed that Kirby Air Ride was originally supposed to have Dolby Surround audio, but he decided to remove it because it would have required showing the Dolby logo at the start of the game.
That's so
That
sick.
kicks so much ass.
What a
that's fucking
dude.
badass.
This guy, like in his YouTube videos, he's got like his setup with like all his consoles. You could tell this is someone making games who plays a lot of video games. And he's like, I hate that. Let me just play my game. So he just took it out of his game. That rules.
Amazing.
What a baller.
Yeah, what a hero. And then finally, the Assassin's Creed Shadows got announced. It's coming out November 15th. It'll be everywhere. It's got the dual protagonists, Yosuke, who is a samurai, and then there is a Naue, I believe, and she is going to be more of the stealth assassin ninja style. And they're promising to support both, to the point where like the stealth action will have a light meter, and you'll be able to take out lights to create more darkness. And it's like, all right, that stuff sounds cool to me. So
I just
we'll
hear
see.
Splinter Cell when I hear that.
Yeah, but I love that shit. So that's for me. Yes. Yep. Give me that.
I'm very excited for Assassin's Creed. And I didn't think I'd say that sentence in 2024.
Me neither. I'm getting pretty excited about this one the more I see it. I'm not going to ever be a person who's going to play every Assassin's Creed or even most of them, but checking in every 4 to 5 years, I usually end up having an okay time. And if I bounce off, it's like, well, I know there's going to be another one, so that's fine.
My favorite thing in seeing the parts of the internet freak out about Assassin's Creed Shadows and being upset about it and, putting their whole asshole out there on the internet is seeing the counterpoints and seeing stuff in Valhalla that I had no idea was there of like, oh, I guess you just fight a giant Egyptian crocodile god at some point. That's pretty cool.
It's
We're
very
upset
cool and
about
very
this.
historically accurate.
We're upset about this franchise not being historically accurate about after I fight this giant crocodile god. Okay, cool.
And of course, they're not actually upset about any of that. It's all just a work so they can get mad about the thing they're actually mad about. Last story here real quick. London studio has officially been closed. Sony Interactive Entertainment's PlayStation London studio has officially closed its doors. Founded in 2002 and based in Soho, London, the first-party studio worked out on the Getaway series and was responsible for the SingStar franchise, and now they've officially been shut down. That's the end of that studio. It's a bummer. London studios always had like the interesting VR games and things like that. And to me, this is like part of a series of closures at PlayStation. That's like, man, these are the studios that were making interesting stuff at the very least. Obviously, they weren't like the world-class like #1 sellers or anything like that. But after closing down Japan studios and now London studios, it's like, man, you're kind of left with the teams that people think of when they think of Sony, but they aren't putting out games very frequently. Like, honestly, we can get through this generation without Naughty Dog putting out like a game that's like a new game. That would be insane, but it feels like it could happen.
Yeah. God. Is PSVR 2 dead in the water now?
They
Kind of was from day one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would say yes. They have not brought it up in any real way. So,
Okay.
yep. All right, that does it for the news, Jan. I'm handing this show back over to you.
I'm rocking this show back and forth, and I think it needs a little bricky break to use the potty. And then we'll be back with some emails right after this.
Let's do it.
Emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your fine emails to. Send any and everything you want to send, whether it is game-related questions, discussion topics, trying to avoid awkward social situations, or hey, what you're doing that day. I welcome any and every email. Special shout-outs to the Giant Bomb community. Last week, I wanted to solicit workout and lifting advice from y'all. And y'all came out in droves.
Oh,
and,
really?
Looking at all those different. Part of the answer was creatine. And let me tell you, right now, your boy's thighs hurt. Turns out I was doing squats completely wrong this whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've learned now what a lat pull down is.
Right.
And all this other stuff. It's great. I feel great. Can't wait for a game of the year to pop off later in the year. I'm just gonna rip my shirt off for no reason.
They did say that getting a Bowflex was a good idea, and I should do that, right?
They did?
No one said that. Grub.
Okay.
Are
shit.
Bowflexes around anymore? Jesus.
I was gonna get a used one off of
Grub,
Facebook.
get into running with me. Run a marathon with me.
Yeah,
Menotti-
I will, but I need to do lat. I gotta do the lat stuff. That's my weakest muscle in my body. I want to focus on that. I think Bowflex is the answer still. I don't care what anyone
Don't do
says.
the Bowflex. Let's run a marathon.
What do you? So, how are you building up your running agility there, Danny boy?
Hal Higdon. He's like 100-year-old fucking dude that's been running marathons since the fucking 30s or something. I read his book and I'm following his program. I guess that's like the standard of just like, here is how you do this. You have like a long run every weekend and it goes up. Like, so right now it's like, Saturday I'll do a 7 mile. Next Saturday I'll do an 8 mile. Next one I'll do a 10. So that's working up to the half mile. And then like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm running at least a 5K every day. So like this morning I did a 5K. Tomorrow I'm doing 4 miles in the morning. The next day I'm doing 5K. And then you have cross training days, which are basically just like, okay, this is to work like, like you're doing leg strengthening stuff or like rowing and core, things like that. So it's very structured day to day, and I haven't missed a single one of them for like 2 months. And I did an actual race this weekend, a 10K.
Nice.
And I've done those before, but I'm usually like really slow and just dying by the end. And this one, it's like I had a pace I was going for, and I beat my time by like 5 minutes I was shooting for.
You beat it by 5 minutes?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, it's like
That's great.
it's an hour 10 or whatever was my very,
Oh,
it's a very
okay.
reasonable goal, but like I finished in like an hour 4 or something like that. But yeah, this is like the first time I've actually been doing this right. Like I did a half marathon 10 years ago, but that was just me going out in San Francisco and like, let's just see how far I can run. Then I'll try to go farther the next time. And this time it's like regimented, planned out, like, yeah. So I'm actually following it and I'm finding it way easier and way more fun than I've ever found running.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, it feels fucking great. So
Running Dan.
yeah, love it.
Yeah. I want to get to the point where we're gonna be in a situation where someone needs something carried, and then I just do it with one arm.
Oh, sure.
Dominant arm?
Dominant arm, non-dominant arm, or I just want to be like hanging from a cliff, and then someone has to save me. And I'm like, nah, dog, I got this.
Oh, so like at the beginning of Ace Ventura 2, like you're the raccoon, but he doesn't need like
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
This is all just building to my tribal chief arc. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do.
Get the tattoo. Get the tattoo.
Real talk. I thought about getting a chest tattoo. Over there.
Chesty?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little chesty.
What's your
Double pits to chesty.
Oh, wow. Ooh, that says something.
Guys, I gotta be honest. I'm not listening. I just watched the Shadow of the Erd Tree trailer instead this whole time. That was very
Okay,
good.
that's fine. We're finding
Wow,
out.
thanks for being
That'll help the
engaged.
lats. Yeah, the lats will be great.
What's your
All
favorite
right.
part? What's your favorite part? I want to hear from Dan. What's your favorite part about running?
Going forward.
Just how's the running around is basically
I think
what
the
I'm asking.
structure is the important thing. Like I think it's like I finally am like finding like a workout structure
it's
that really
discipline.
works for
You've
me.
lacked- lacked discipline.
It is the discipline and the structure. Because like I remember when I lived in New York, like I was focusing on like I was like kind of getting into like lifting stuff, and I was lifting way more than I used to. I was doing benches with like the 45s and stuff, which I was
Yep.
never able to do before.
Sure.
And then I kept getting hurt. And I remember I went to a doctor at one point, and he's like, "Look, you're lifting like the way a bodybuilder would want to lift, but you're not a bodybuilder. Don't do." And like I don't want to be a bodybuilder, so like that didn't really work with me. And now the running, like I remember like teachers pulling me aside in like 8th grade and being like, "Hey, you should be on the cross country team. You've got the build of a runner." And so like I think maybe I'm actually kind of like built to run more and bike. I'm going on 30-mile bike rides and stuff on the weekends. So it's like I think I'm finding my stuff for sure.
You're
here.
born
And-
to run.
Yeah, baby.
Yes. But it's great, like making a playlist and like knowing how long it's going to take to run this 10K, and like
Sure.
knowing like, okay, in the middle it's going to be this type of feeling of the music, and at the end is going to be, we'll bring in the Rocky shit and everything. And like it just the actual act, I don't get bored by it. It's very fun
Yeah.
for me.
Dan,
two more follow-ups. Yes, go ahead,
Please.
Jan.
Dan, I would recommend you don't have to watch the movie, but run to the Challengers soundtrack.
I saw you tweet that, and I considered looking that up because, like, now that I'm running so much, I am looking. I don't want to listen to the same playlist over and over again. So yes, I can do that next time. I'll do it tomorrow morning.
Oh my God, I actually felt like I could get into a fight with God.
Yeah.
All right then.
All right.
Whoa. My first question, what are your preferred running shoes?
So
Mr. Mosquito branded shoes.
That's
Are you like a Hoka person? Hoka?
Yes. So I have like weird feet and they're like wide and stuff. So it's like hard for me to
too,
find. I had
brother.
plantar fasciitis issues, so it's always been hard for me to find.
We've
shoes that
seen it
work
on
really
Wiki
well.
Feet. We know.
Yeah.
So LA Gears.
Well, no. So I used to use like Brooks Adrenaline and stuff like that. Like Brooks has some good like arch support shoes and stuff like that, but they were kind of tight for me a lot of times. And it was when we were having breakfast with the Boniellos, Jan, and April was telling me about the Hokas or the Hakas or whatever. And man, I went into a running store and they say, oh, have them actually get on a treadmill. They'll look at your gait, they'll look at your feet, and they'll do all this stuff. And like they recommended them. I was like, yeah, okay, I've heard these are great, and I've gotten a couple pairs since then. They are the most comfortable shoes, so those are absolutely working for me.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't wear a lot of sneakers, but love the pair of Hokies that I got because of the Boniellos.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then before you said you really like to run like 5 miles or 7Ks. So which is it, metric or imperial?
Well, okay.
Depends on the race.
So the way it works is the way on the Hal Higdon stuff is it's miles. So it's like, right now it's like you'll do Tuesday 3, Wednesday 4, Thursday 3. And when I say 10K, I mean an actual race where it's like I signed up for a thing. You show up at a place, you get a bib, you do the run. It's all like, I'm only doing a couple races. The half marathon is an actual race. The 10K is an actual race. But when I say I run a 5K, several times a week, I mean that like I'm supposed to only do 3 miles, but it's like 3.1 for a technical 5K. So I will push to the 3.1 just so like my app logs it as a 5K, and I'm big on like tracking the stats and all that stuff and seeing like my fastest segment time. It's fucking speed running, but for real life.
Yep.
How many?
Literally speed running.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And how many of those annoying magnets do you have now on the back of your car?
None. No.
Okay, good to know.
No.
You're annoyed by that back car?
People who have like 12.5.
Yeah,
or
what's annoying? It's like, okay. Like, I just ignore it. I don't know. What's annoying about
It's
it?
not hurting you.
it is. See, that's where you're wrong.
See,
that's
this is where the
wrong.
Paul Reichert of you comes out. Like, oh, someone's doing something I don't like, so I must disapprove. That's
You're
the Paul
allowed.
Reichert in you.
I think it's funny to be annoyed by things.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I enjoy
Okay,
it.
I think that is where we find joy.
Dan, I'm envious because I listen. I would love to go run a marathon with you, but like what you're describing is in no way could fit with the way I have my life set up with the kids.
Sure.
I can't just disappear and go ride a bike for 30 miles.
Yeah, but
that's-
then run
that's a
away
bonus
from them.
thing.
That's the point.
The ride thing is a bonus. That's like, you have your like cross training
but, like,
day where that's
I like 4 days a week. They're both in school in the morning, and I do go for walks. But then like it's like
How long's
that's
your
in the morning. It's I try to do a 2-mile walk. Yes.
but how long? How long
Oh,
are you
it's
out?
so I do that in like 30 minutes.
I did 30 this morning.
Honestly, actually, I do 45 minutes. So it's I probably do
doing
closer
less.
to 3 miles. Yeah,
I'm doing 30 minutes to do 3.1.
right. So yeah, so I could probably fit it in there, but it's like it can't get much longer than that because I have the show in the morning and stuff like that. So it's like I could maybe make it happen, but I couldn't like do anything on the weekend or anything like that most weekends.
Long
I wouldn't be
ones
able
or
to
just
keep to. I would not be able to keep to the regular schedule that you're describing, and that's what I would want.
Well, that's the crazy thing now is like I'm thinking about this summer, and like my race isn't until late July. And so like my really long, 8, 9, 10 miles and stuff, I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm going to be in Oklahoma. I'm going to be in like, I've got a lot of travel coming up. So I got to figure out like, do I want to run in Vegas in July for 10 miles?
right.
Or
No.
am I staying in the hotel and doing a treadmill run?
Yeah,
for
do
that one,
treadmill. Yeah, don't run in
might,
the
I might.
desert. What are you doing?
Yeah,
run
we'll
in
see. I bought
Oh,
tank
but
tops.
Yeah.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for running. Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait. You're going to be so slim. I can't wait to see you, man.
He already is. You're down below 160 for the first
I'm in the
time.
160s for the first time in like
160.
over a decade.
Gosh
yeah.
darn.
Yeah,
Good for you,
feels-
bud.
And honestly, it is. Sorry, I'm excited. I don't talk about this that much. I'm excited to talk about it. It is very interesting to see like things that you might just write off as aging. As like I remember, like if you look back, the heaviest I've ever been was around the time of that like Belgium travelogue last year. So last July, and that's when I started kind of like because I was like on on the plane. I was feeling bad. I was just like getting out of bed in the morning. I was just really like, my back, my legs, my feet, and everything was just kind of hurting. I was like, fuck, getting old sucks. And like, yes, it does. But I made a real effort from that point, and I am amazed. Like when I pop out of bed in the mornings now to do my run, I'm just like, I feel like I'm kipping up out of bed, and like my knees are feeling good, my feet are feeling good. I'm just feeling lighter and better. So it's like, you can reverse certain things or stave certain things off if you put the work in, certainly.
I mean, look, more people need to hear that. Turns out doing exercise feels good.
Yeah, it turns out it helps a lot of things.
Yeah. Maybe folks at home, you won't be as angry and upset about the world if you just go out and I don't know, touch grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does. God,
Or ice,
when I go
whatever.
on my walk-
I like paved roads, but yeah.
Ice paved roads,
Yeah.
playing
Touch
around
ice,
of
baby.
golf on the weekends, you know?
Yeah, get more dolph in your life.
Grub, I think you would really enjoy. Have you seen the steel mace workouts?
No, it's just like one of those big like lever workouts where you work with like a big like long pole.
Yep, exactly. And
Jan,
it's just
I
like
would-
weighted
I
at
would
the end.
Love that.
You know
Like-
what you need to do if you like that? Watch the video of Scott Steiner's workout DVD. Where he's just lifting up logs and tires and stuff and screaming. It's with all of his favorite freaks are there just watching him lift chains and stuff. It's
Favorite
incredible.
freaks, hell yeah.
Yeah.
God, I kind of want to go like do a cartwheel now or something.
Yeah, let's talk about workout.
What do you mean, like, just to feel good?
No, just like I just want to see if I could do like a one-arm cartwheel.
Oof.
All right, emails. I'm enjoying our fitness arc era.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You at home, it's never too late. All you got to do, just start.
Jim, what like did you like pick one like program that someone sent and started doing it?
If you look at the GB Discord, Grub, someone had tagged you in it. And shouts out to Divine on the GB Discord. They made a whole workout regimen catered to me. So it's
Hell yeah.
very,
All right, I'm
that's
doing
awesome.
it right now. Thank you.
they're a personal trainer in the PDX is Portland,
Yes,
that
that's correct.
sounds right.
Yes, it is.
in the Portland area. I'll find their info if
How do
they're
they justify the X?
I mean, look,
Is
Kansas
that like-
City's airport is MCI, like
So,
airport codes
okay, so
don't.
that's the airport code,
I think so,
PDX.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Then
yeah.
that's what it is.
Probably.
Okay, that's okay. Fair enough.
anyway.
That's assigned. So yeah.
First email.
How do they justify the
Yeah, well, how you get away with
It's
that?
just a funny, like, how do they justify that?
First email comes from Chris from Texas, asking for Boston Rex. Hey, Bombers. So I'm going to be in Boston for a few days in August, mostly for the One Piece night at the Red Sox game, where they're giving away a bobblehead of Luffy in a Red Sox jersey. But what's more important is I'll be there for 3 days, and I'm looking for fun stuff to do and great places to eat with my wife.
All right.
They included that in parentheses. Since you all had such a good time there for PAX, I was wondering if you had any suggestions. I also considered going to the salted caramel lobster roll, but it sounds like you got to be a hotel guest to eat there. Anyway, thanks for the help, Chris from Texas.
I am bummed hearing this that I didn't take us to Lily's Bar while we were there because I went there last year with my dad, and there's a place called Lily's Bar and Patio, and it's just like funky pizzas and a bunch of like cool like shareable appetizers and stuff like that, and just a really cool place with cool
You didn't
cocktails and
mention
everything.
that.
I can't believe I didn't. It's literally the only place I'm looking at the Boston map. The only star I have on my Google Maps is Lily's Bar. It's like I got to go back there if I'm ever in Boston. Great cocktails,
Man.
great vibe. to
fuck,
the place.
man?
Yeah, I don't know. I fucked up, but next time we're in Boston, Lily's Bar.
We'll get
And
back
it's
there.
like downtown too.
That brewery we went to, Backlar, what was that called?
Trillium.
Trillium.
Oh, that was good.
That was nice.
Yeah, go to Trillium. There's a couple of them in Boston. That's my favorite beer in town. But I don't claim to be any sort of Boston expert, so.
That tiki bar was great.
It was a
Oh,
good time.
yeah.
It was a lot of
Shore
fun.
Leave. Shore Leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shore Leave, not Shore Leaves like I kept thinking it was.
Shore Leave. Yes. Yeah, that was a great night.
We also were in a part of Boston that's like I feel like a lot of Bostonians don't consider to be real Boston.
Well, the
Sure,
convention
that's what
center
makes it
area. Yeah.
you know. So
I like the part where I won $10,000.
right, that was a cool moment. That was
That was
also the
neat.
Trillium
I should
night.
do that more often.
I
Yeah,
will never forget that.
it was.
I will never
nuts.
forget you just going over to the bar and just chatting up somebody you've never met just because you could not be thinking about this sports gambling.
Yeah.
I was just so confident. I just knew it was going to happen. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
at that point, it seemed pretty certain, but I couldn't think that way.
like
that
it
was
was
crazy.
like they would have had to score like 4 goals in 4
Right, but
minutes.
it's like it's not possible. You know, that one time because I left some money on there and I showed you, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna win again. It's not quite as much money, and then fucking one team did blow a huge lead, and I never ended up winning that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Next email is about gains still and fitness. What's up, Bombcast? I want to suggest a workout for y'all that pairs perfectly with disc golf. You all should join a climbing gym.
This is what I want.
You can spend way too much money on shoes and chalk bags. You can learn a bunch of new lingo, and depending on the gym, you're basically working out on a giant mattress. I started climbing about 2 months ago, parentheses, shouts out, Minneapolis Bouldering Project. And not only are the gains apparent, it's the only workout routine I've had where I've had to force myself to take a rest day. It's really fun, it's addicting as hell, there's lots to learn, and solving a route feels like beating a boss in a Souls game. Become climbing people. Hit me up if you're ever visiting Dan, and I'll get you on a guest pass. Thomas from Minneapolis.
Yeah, I wonder if he works at Vertical Endeavors, which is where Tim Turry got really obsessed with. Yeah, Tim Turry got very obsessed with climbing for a while and would not stop talking about it, and like made a bunch of us go. Like me and Hanson and Ben Reeves and stuff all went, and we tried. And it's hard. Like he's doing crazy stuff and climbing up there and doing all this stuff, and like our fingers are hurting and stuff. So I think for a while, me and Ben Reeves just went down to the mats and did wrestling moves to each other. No, you take a rock bottom. Like, and so that was my climbing experience. But that was fun.
Yeah, I'm worried about my fingies.
Yeah, it's hard.
I can't do bouldering because of the tendonitis in my hands.
Yeah, have you guys done the test of like, can you hold yourself up from a bar for 60 seconds? Because that is mostly about grip strength.
From a
grip
bar?
Strength, well, you know, like
a pull-up bar.
A pull-up bar.
I think I could do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and they're like, grip
For
strength is
60
one of the
seconds?
best ways to tell whether or not you're going to have a lot of longevity. So people have, if you have like weak grip strength when you're older, it's like, this is a bad sign. You should be working on that.
Oh,
Do you guys ever time your
interesting.
planks?
Yeah.
Where you at?
Did recently. I can do like 30 seconds pretty easily, and then anytime after that, it's like, ooh, this is gonna get real rough real fast.
Do like a minute.
I'm trying to do over 2 every day now.
Are we
and
doing
like,
elbows?
No, just full on
Hands.
push-up
Okay.
style. Yeah,
Okay.
try like
2 minutes is a long time.
Yeah,
you're
that's-
shaking by the end of it, but like,
I'm shaking 5 seconds in, baby. That don't make it wrong, you know.
It's funny. My dad never works out, and he wanted to start working out. And so last time I was in town, he like had me come to a gym. He had a $10 a month gym he signed up for. And he's like, show me how to work out, basically. I'm like, how does this elliptical thing work? Or how does this? And I was also explaining like, an easy thing you could do at home is just a plank. And I explained it to him. And I was like, yeah, you just hold yourself up. And like, if you could do that for, 30 seconds, a minute. And he's like, what? That's easy. That's not a workout. Do you want to try? I was like, that's too easy. Why would I waste my time doing that? I was like, try it. And like 5 seconds, it's like, oh.
I died later that day. Awesome.
Fitness folks at home, should I be like getting on the proteins as well as like the creatine?
Well, what do you want to do?
I'm trying to get like Roman Reigns, Dan.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more protein.
Calorie surplus and a bunch of protein.
Okay, all right. I just spilled coffee on
my question for climbing is, I don't like relying on other people for this. I want to be able to just go and do my thing. And I always imagine a climbing gym requires like the belay and stuff.
Oh, no. Bouldering is just freehand.
It is? Okay, so I'd
And
be
also
good at just...
scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I want to be able to go to a gym inside, air conditioned, and not have anyone else hold the rope for me. And I don't want to hold anyone else's rope. So that's possible.
Well, bouldering, it's like
don't knock it
shorter.
if you ain't tried it.
Bouldering is shorter walls, and then you're just going based off of like the difficulty that you choose for the root grub, and then it's just freehand and your feeties.
Yeah, there's no rope, so it's like if you fall, it's short, it's just like a back bump onto a mat. Yeah.
Tuck your
fantastic.
Head.
That sounds
Make
perfect.
sure to tuck your head.
Tuck chin and throw the arms out.
Yeah, the judo fall. Yeah.
Oh, I still maintain this, Dan. I think there could have been an alternate route for you where you got really into Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I did Muay Thai. I bought a Groupon for Muay Thai.
Right? Like most masters
What a
do.
2004 sentence.
Probably like 2012, 2013. And I got Ben Hansen to come with me. It was like 5 classes at a place called The Cellar in Minneapolis. And I went, and it was fucking awesome because it's a lot of holding bags and kicking bags and just really just like wrenching into it. It just felt great. But I did jam my finger really bad like 3 classes in and had to stop. And I could be misremembering this, but I do remember Hansen getting so lightheaded that I feel like he was like, whoa, and had to because I think I was sparring with Hansen, if I remember right, and he got lightheaded, and because they did a thing where it's like you got to lift your arms up, and then you just on the person's stomach, and it sucks. And I think I remember him walking back to the locker room to get his clothes and leave in a daze, and I think he accidentally went into the women's room, and so in my head it's Ben Hansen just like Frankenstein walking, and then hearing. In my head, I might be misremembering.
No, that's exactly what
No, that's how it
happened.
happened. That's how it
Yep.
happened. All right, a couple more emails before we get out of here. Next email. Hey, Bombers, two-part question for y'all. One, what were some cases of advertisements inside games that somehow felt okay with you and not trashy or lame? I'm thinking Crazy Taxi,
Yes.
Tony Hawk, maybe Fortnite.
Yeah, like Burnout.
Fortnite, I just accept as like this is just that is the game. You
Yeah.
know, like
Like
that's
it's a
that doesn't bother
feature.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Crazy Taxi is the first thing that came to mind for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw when you were talking about ads in games last week, Grub, someone mentioned you can get a Pizza Hut box as a shield in Phantasy Star, and I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Right,
Let's
that's
do that.
if it's really dumb. I think like Cup Noodle in any Kojima thing where he's had that
Monster Energy.
Monster Energy drink. I thought that was pretty stupid and fun in Death Stranding. So yeah,
It's got to be tasteful.
Jet Moto
Honestly,
with the Mountain Dew.
maybe it doesn't even need to be tasteful. I
No,
don't
but
know.
tasteful. But I'm being very charitable with the definition of tasteful here. But like, it has to be able to like pass a certain kind of like test. You know, a certain kind of sniff test. Can be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Did anyone during the Dandoko Dare thing? Because one of the objectives was see a Tommy Hilfiger logo, and I didn't
Yeah.
specify the game. Did anyone get that?
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
we did.
You went to 1080 right away.
I went to 1080 and it looked
Okay.
up, and I knew. As soon as you said it, I'm like, well, that's the easiest one. I'm just going to
Okay.
load up 1080. It's right there in the splash screen.
Yep.
Sakurai would have hated it. Yeah.
Was like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, was that like an ad also for Hawaii?
Kind of.
My
The
impact for
tourism
by the
board.
whole. Yeah, the tourism
That was
board.
product. That's more product
Yeah, maybe.
placement. But
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. The second question is, what is the common thread that makes these ads okay? Why are
we
we
just-
repulsed by the concept of an in-game ad like a billboard in Rainbow Six or during a load screen, but Norman Reedus chugging monsters is okay? Marketedly yours, not a PR executive, I swear.
It's because it is product placement. It is an easier pill to swallow when it's a part of the thing. Like you don't really see the ads on the boards of
products
a hockey
exist.
rink,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't see that in a way you see your moment being. You see something taking over a screen and delays you from doing a thing. There's intrusive and passive ads, and that's the difference.
I'm at a point where the ads that show up on like the Xbox interface that really bother people, I don't even notice them. Doesn't
Yeah.
bother me at all anymore. But a lot of people are really bothered by that. So part of this is I'm just used to it.
Next email. Hello,
I
Bombcast.
also miss cigarette ads.
Okay.
We should bring those back.
We don't
Joe
have to.
Camel specifically.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I miss like going
Yeah.
to like Shea Stadium and seeing like a big Marlboro flag in the back, and you're like,
an ad in the back
Winston.
of a comic book.
Yeah,
or,
you're like Winston cigarettes
or Highlights
yeah.
magazine.
Yeah. Camels. Yeah, hell yeah.
Tim writes in, hello, Bombcast. On UPF, Dan wanted to be able to use Prime on the game scent, though it looks like that won't work. However, he could get an ultrasonic humidifier that would send the Prime into the air.
That's what he was thinking that the game
Jesus.
scent is. Yes.
Okay.
They also make smart ones that can be connected, so he could maybe remotely activate it as well. How well it would actually work, I have no idea. Thanks, Tim.
So
I don't
he
think
would-
Dan could just start randomly buying products and being like, you have to install this in your home. That's crazy.
Grub, I literally this morning, the thought did enter and exit my mind. I didn't act on it. Of like, man, it'd be so funny if I could get the actual stink bomb fart juice stuff in there. And I was like, how am I going to possibly like Minati's probably not there that often. It did cross my mind like, should I email Grub's wife and ask if she'll put fart juice in the game sense?
She would never, because it make
No.
the. You know how bad that smells.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do.
Yeah, it would make the whole house reek. She would
Oh,
never.
I know. I used to
Yeah.
do it, and my mom was not happy. Done it in cars, done it in
Yep.
homes, done
Schools,
it in bars. Done
yep.
it, yeah, that was kind of my
Oh,
thing.
bars. Yeah, I went to a bar once where someone did that. It cleared the whole place out.
It-
Oh, my God.
The crowd bar?
Yeah.
Look, not advocating it now, but helped me get some beers quicker in college.
Hey, Dan, do some. Oh, cool. The game sense going off. Weird. Do an ultra marathon here. You could you're running. Just run here. Put it in there when I'm not looking. Yeah.
Run with it.
Oh, run there and
Yeah, just
put
run
fart
there,
juice in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
Yeah, break into his home.
Right.
You
do
wouldn't press
it.
charges.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you didn't want to make content out of it, sure.
Yeah. We'll make it fun. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. The fun fart juice.
All right. We had another email about someone writing in to kill time while they're waiting in a TSA line. But last email of the show comes from Matt from South Carolina. Dear Bombers, I really like the Final Fantasy VII remake so far, but I have to watch others play through it because I keep dying when I try to play it. Yes, I fiddled with the settings and knocked the difficulty down, but for some reason, my dumb brain can't quite mesh with the combat, and I get my ass kicked whenever I try. Are there any games you like but have to experience the story through others because you're bad at them? Thanks. Love the show. Matt from South Carolina. Fighting games I'm bad at, so I like watching fighting games.
Yeah, I'm bad at having patience, so any game that requires a ton of that, if I really want to see what's going on there, might watch the story or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I like watching Elden Ring because I'm just never. I can't fit that into my life. It's just not going to happen.
It's too good, too fun.
I want to do it, but like I just don't have the. I don't think I have the time, quite frankly. I just don't.
Closest to me was probably like not enjoying Peace Walker and just like watching like all the cutscenes. You know, I think even for Metal Gear Scanlan, we didn't play it. We just like watched all the cutscenes. Although I keep thinking I should probably play Peace Walker, but
yeah. Was Peace Walker in that collection? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it's on there. So like, I don't have an excuse. I could easily play it. I own it on several things now.
StarCraft and like Dota, League. That's another one that I like to watch versus actually play. League and Dota, it's because sometimes the community is just god awful. But StarCraft, your boys' hands can't move that fast.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of Quackshot speedruns over and over again.
Yeah, but you're also playing that one. So.
I know, but yeah, I watch the best.
Well, what like is there like? It sounds like there's a lot of them. Is there like a go-to Quackshot speedrun video?
Yeah, his name's
you
like
watch?
Ziwi or something. I think is the #1 guy. He's been great. He's shown up in Jiwi. Yeah, he's got the 23-minute 43, which is insane. Man, I watched him try to. The Transylvania skip is nuts. It's just he's the one I watch over and over and over again now that I'm trying to kind of hone in. But it's hard.
Are you going to get the long jump?
I am. So the thing is, I can't do it every time now, but I can do it enough to where I could get lucky once, and that's all I need.
It'll make a big enough difference that's worth it? Okay.
Absolutely. And the good thing is all the long jump stuff you need to do for the most part is in the first level in Mexico. So it's like I can just restart. It's not like I have to get all the way there and then fuck it up and restart. I fuck up right away, so I'm just playing Mexico over and over and over again right now.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. And that does it for emails, folks. And that about does it for this show today and this week. What do we got going on for the rest of this week? We got Game Us Mornings popping off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We also have a D-Light Club this week because Mike Minotti is doing business things all over this country.
Do I need to download anything, Dan? Should
we decide right now? We were talking about maybe Incredible Crisis, but maybe also Daikatana Game Boy, which is supposed to be the good one. What do you want? It's your special day.
I'm gonna have both, and let's see how we're feeling.
Either way, I'm expensing you Popeyes. It's on Bacalar, so you're getting some Popeyes delivered to you.
Hell yeah, can't wait.
It doesn't come out of my wallet. What are you?
It? Can I like do it? Is there like a drop down where I can just say the picture of your face?
No,
that's called
Popeyes that
that's called robbery.
No, I'm asking you. You can't rob someone if you ask.
No, you can't have. No, you can't spend my money.
All right, I'll spend the corporate money instead of yours. All
spend that money.
But yeah, we'll both get some Popeyes. Grab it. It'll be good.
All right, hell yeah. I'm checking out to see if there's a Popeyes near me.
Yeah,
you too can play at home. Go get yourself some Popeyes.
It's the best fucking chicken sandwich ever.
It's really good. Yeah. Thursday, we have a grab bag stream. We're going to check out a couple games that have been popping off. We'll probably just show off some Senua Saga on the website. And then we're continuing our Elden Ring adventures on UPF this week, as well as a BCR. Maybe we should do a Mount Rushmore of stealth games.
I think we figured it out.
Yeah. I was going to suggest maybe we do an Xbox draft, but maybe not.
We could we'll decide. A draft could be fun though. Maybe not an Xbox one. Maybe some other kind of draft. Yeah.
And then that about does it for this week. But also, as we mentioned at the top of the show, tickets are available now to Giant Bomb at Night, June 6th at the Bellwether.
June 9th.
June 9th, 6-9. Nice. We'll have guests like Jason Schreier, Lana Pierce, Paris Lilly, Ify Nwadwe, Mike Minotti, and then Patrick Klepek, as well as a bunch of other guests to come.
Klepek is that kid that won the contest to be on stage, right?
Yeah, I think it's a Make-A-Wish thing.
Oh, okay. No, it's like a Tombstone Pizza contest or something.
Yeah,
and he's he's a YouTube kid, but yeah.
YouTube kid, yeah.
We got a bunch of other guests yet to announce. It's going to be fun stuff. Believe me, we've had meetings, and I've never seen Dan as excited as he was earlier when I mentioned Mr. Mosquito.
Right.
Yeah!
Imagine him getting excited about something other. It's beautiful to see.
I'm
God
excited
bless
all
you.
the time.
God bless you, Dan. God bless
What
you.
did we learn today? We learned that maybe Jeff Grubb has to dodge an ice cream if we go out for ice cream. We learned that Dan loves Mr. Mosquito. We learned about typing piss. I don't remember what that was about.
Cryptmaster.
Grubb was trying to make the look stick feel good. Maybe you say Scribble Knots adjacent instead of Scribble Nazi. We learned that games have changed because nipple DLC is no longer a thing. We learned that maybe old folks are watching too many commercials and maybe they're the ones that love Raymond. We also learned that we're headed to a future littered with ads in games. Sakurai's pretty cool for denying a Dolby ad in front of a game. And hey, we also learned that we're getting into our fitness era. Folks, I've been Jan, he's been Jeff, he's been Jeff, he's been Dan. And you at home have been gorgeous today. Go outside and touch some actual grass. Go outside and lift a kettlebell, do some squats, do some Hindu squats, go for a run, go punt a football. We'll see you next
I would
week
love that.
for another episode of Giant Bombcast. I can't get this other music to stop. I'm sorry, Sean.
Don't have to.
Look at that freaky little dude.
That's Minotti.
Oh, okay.